Wednesday morning. Joey, that's loud. Blaring. That is super loud.
I just realized it.
You are jacked. But good morning, everybody. Good Wednesday morning. Happy hump day. Bike. We are 1 day away. So what does that mean?
We're 1 day away.
Okay. We're back to just normalcy.
We're normal. I've always been normal, man. I've never not been normal. We're back in all seriousness. 1 day away. We are here. We are on the eve. I've done all of this. I've done all of the stupid math and all of these dumb jokes and all of the additions and all the. I admit it was dumb. It was stupid. It was a bit that probably should have ended like a couple weeks ago. But the fact that the bit was so bad is why the bit needed to continue. It was just to distract me from the fact that we are so far away from watching meaningful football. And now we are here.
We are here. We are also on the cusp of 91 college football games beginning tomorrow. 91 to begin the weekend, week one. I'm just going to make this statement about week one of the college football season. It is the best week one ever.
I can't argue with that. I don't remember a week one that had this many college like playoff staked matchups, right? Like there are if Clemson loses to LSU, like it's not going to be like they're eliminated from the playoffs, but it's definitely going to affect like how we look at them and how they're judged at the end of the year. Same thing with Texas and Ohio State. Then you got Miami and Notre Dame, and then you just have a bunch of just solid matchups. Not there's still blowouts. There's still your like Power Five versus your like nobody use, right? But you still got Baylor. I think Baylor and Auburn on Friday.
Yep,
is
Friday
going to be
Fox.
An absolute banger. Attaboy. What time?
Well,
7:00.
There you go.
So 91 games. I think if I've done my top 10 of games and I've split up what screens are going to get which. This is how good a weekend it is because Nebraska-Cincinnati is a rare Power 4 on Power 4 crime. It's not in my top 10. It's actually 12th on my power list of the 91 games that are being played this weekend. That just shows you that this is a really good weekend for college football. I say the best week ever. And we are a day away from who knows what's going to happen in Kansas City with this crew. So 1620 The Zone will be there. Tomorrow morning, we will be in a house. We'll be doing this show while 4 other people are sleeping.
Yeah. So
at the time,
that was something that somebody brought up to me that they were like, hey, people are going to be getting their slumber. You're a louder guy.
They're what?
Their slumber.
Their slumber?
You've ever heard it? Get your slumber? Like your sleep. Slumber.
Okay. I know a slumber party. Haven't been in a while. Adults usually don't go to those. And if they do, it's a little bit crazy.
1620.
You never had an adult slumber party? You never heard of that?
No.
Where it's like you and your 6 best friends, like you all get together and order pizzas? One? This is a thing that's happened on Instagram. This was like a trend.
Don't live on Instagram. I live actually in the United States of America, here in Omaha, Nebraska.
Well, those people lived in the United States of America as well. There was a bunch of like 32-year-old men got together and they ordered a bunch of pepperoni pizzas and played Black Ops 2. And then,
that sounds like a night with the fellas. I don't need to have 5 other dudes sleeping at my house unless they're visiting. No, I haven't had a slumber party in a long time since John Bender fell asleep in my basement when we were in 8th grade, and we did the old trick of putting his hand in water to see what would happen.
What did happen?
It didn't go like it's supposed to.
Sure.
But we made sure that he got markered up.
I got markered up one time. I was that guy who went to bed before everybody else did. But no, it was an adult slumber party. It sounds like a great time. It's not the fellas getting together because the fellas don't sleep over. That's the difference between it being a slumber party.
I don't think I want a bunch of dudes in my house just hanging out unless they're passed out. Like, I'm not saying, hey, let's have a slumber party. Let's go change clothes.
I'm not saying you are, and I'm not saying it's normal. I'm just telling you it's something that's happened.
No. Like, people come to my house, like we're watching a ball game.
Yeah.
Now, if my team loses, you're getting the hell out. Like, right away. And people that come to my house that watch games with me, and I very rarely watch, like, big games with other people. I like to be alone.
I love
But if you're coming to my house, you know that if the result doesn't go my way, you're not lingering. You are making a beeline for the door. But if we win, we're going to hang out. We're going to have a good time. But you also are not sleeping in my bed and you're not sleeping on my couch unless you can't drive. And then I will offer you whatever luxury you need. I haven't dudes over to, hey, let's have a weekend this weekend. We got a great weekend of college football. You know what? Hey, Pack a suitcase.
Yeah,
Let's all
why not?
let's all
That'd be-
stay overnight.
That'd be fun.
It's a Sharpie slumber party.
You-
And then the next question would be from a couple of single guys is ratio.
Oh, zero.
No,
I mean
but-
it's
but
all to one.
But our ratio will be 7 dudes in a house in Overland Park, Kansas tomorrow morning.
it's
There
gonna
are
be
going to
fun.
be 4 guys that are going to be livid at this show
Why? Oh,
because we're going to. I mean, it's not like we're in a mansion. Like people are going to be able to hear that we're doing a show from, I don't know, the kitchen table or wherever we're going to be doing it in this house. Maybe we'll do it outside. Maybe we'll just tick off the neighbors.
that'd be fun.
Fly a Nebraska flag.
Do you want to do it on the patio? You and me on the patio. We have a couple patio beers at 8:00 in the morning before
Why wait till 8?
Oh,
Yeah.
do it at 6:00
Yeah.
in the morning. I mean, get a head start and everybody
Yeah.
else who's going to be looking
So
up.
we'll the whole station is going to Kansas City with y'all today as you're driving down Interstate 29. If you see the 1620 The Zone convoy, give it a little as we drive by. I'm sure people will be doing that. Nebraska is leaving Lincoln at 1. So
Yes.
they're going to be at Arrowhead for the walkthrough at 4:15. So if you do the math, just pull off on the side of the road and give it a honk honk. Give it a honk honk. But for
that
the
your-
next 2 days,
Is that your best honk impression?
no, it's gotten worse as I've gotten older. Like
yeah.
younger, I'd whip that window down and out. And then as you
That's
then
even worse. What the hell was
no,
that?
because when you're a little kid,
That was-
a little kid, you don't know what
That
it
was more of a
"Oh,
sea
come
lion.
on!" And then you're like,
That was good.
Yeah.
That one was a good one. You
yeah.
do a
but
wait.
I'm trying to save the voice as you get a little bit older, and also it's very awkward now, and there's more of like road rage. That if you do that, some new age truckers they don't get it, and they have guns.
Okay, so that's a very good point. I don't mess with pickup trucks. Okay, I know.
Don't
I know.
stereotype.
No, well, here's the thing.
There are people that drive Honda Accords that have guns.
See, that is a good point. But let's be honest here. I mean, what is the likelihood? Who's more likely to probably have a shotgun from duck hunting in the back of the car? The guy or gal driving a Honda Accord, or the guy or gal driving a pickup truck. I don't mess with pickup trucks. I don't mess with that. They cut me off. Okay. Sounds good.
Do your thing.
Yeah,
Just stay away from me.
exactly. I don't do the whole road rage. A lot of people got mad at me yesterday when I told them about the honk, about the communicating honk.
This
A lot
is,
of people
I
this
remember,
is-
I remember you talking about that.
yeah.
the
You
other day.
were fine. I mean, I agreed with a lot of you said. I just think in this town, Nebraska nice, people don't understand the value of the horn. Like
couldn't agree
in
more.
big city
Yeah.
environments.
Like if you're riding with somebody and she's in the passenger seat and you honk and you're like, stop. I'm like, no, they got to know the light turned green.
Yes.
We're not going to be here forever.
Mhm.
My mom
I
always
just-
gets mad at me.
some places understand the honk, others don't they don't teach the honk in school. Did they teach the honk to you, Joey? Like the proper when you're doing driver's ed in Nebraska, like when to honk and not to honk,
No,
and the
they,
value of the honk?
no, they did not do that. I just learned it on my own. Just
Joey's a good driver.
Learn common sense. That's what I say. That's why I use the horn.
Yeah.
I've been
And
in-
your turn signals, which apparently they are making vehicles that are sold in the state of Nebraska that do not have turn signals anymore. That's pretty crazy.
Wow.
how is that legal?
I don't know. I just don't see them used very often. So I'm thinking that cars do not have them.
Have you
Uh,
once again, you have to, this is my goal. You have to join Instagram. You would love Instagram.
Not a
It is-
chance.
It is so funny.
I got
It is
TikTok.
so up your
TikTok
alley.
is greater than
No,
Instagram.
No, because
TikTok, I don't have to make a commitment.
no,
Instagram, I feel like I got to embrace it. TikTok, I'm just a
That's not
flyby.
First off,
And also, I got the president, man. Thank you. They keep pushing that back. I thought TikTok was going to go. I was very
you're
sad.
worried about it.
President Trump said, "Not so fast. Government might own TikTok. I might own TikTok." And I'm like, "Yeah,
Doesn't he?
let's keep it going,
does
baby."
Does he now have a TikTok? Didn't he make a TikTok, or wasn't that a
The White
rumor?
House has a TikTok account. Just don't read the replies after their first TikTok.
Fair
I don't think their purpose for their first TikTok reached the base that they wanted to.
Look,
Let's keep TikTok alive.
Instagram.
Thank you, President Trump.
Instagram is a little bit darker. The humor's a little bit darker.
Yeah, I don't like
Okay.
dark.
Yeah, you like a little bit of dark humor.
No, I don't. No, I don't. On Thanksgiving, I like the white meat.
I'm talking about humor.
Oh.
I'm not talking about the legs of a turkey
Oh.
or whether or not you like the breast or if you like the thighs.
Okay. With humor, I like white, black, purple, green,
Yes.
yellow, red.
It's a little bit more ridiculous.
The-
It's a
the-
little bit darker.
The colors of the rainbow. I like that comedy.
Like this is no joke. I hopped on Instagram this morning and there was a Casey Anthony joke. Okay. There was
Ooh.
a Casey Anthony like skit. Okay. Like
Mm,
that was like, it was, if I show it to you, it was funny. Like
Yeah.
they made the joke,
The
like
sk- the
their
s-
single,
the
their
s-
single friend, like was dating Casey Anthony and brought
Yeah.
him to a house party.
Yeah, the skit should be she should be locked up and belong
Well,
to the state of Florida.
No, I totally agree. But what I'm saying is that like that was an example. Okay.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's a lighter but darker thing. I think you would enjoy it. There's guys on Instagram who are like the highway police, and they go on the highway and they like record cars, right? Of like what they're doing wrong and what they're doing right. And like, it's funny. It's really funny. You would enjoy it.
I don't
It's
know.
a great account.
I'm going to stick to figuring out how Nebraska is going to pinch down on Corleone tomorrow night. I don't need to be on Instagram. I think all the stuff that's on Instagram ends up on TikTok. So I don't need to. I don't need to space myself out. I can just focus on the TikTok. Was Casey Anthony as big a deal here in Nebraska as it was when I was living in Florida? Tell you what,
I just remember it was on TV.
It captivated everybody in the state of Florida. Like in my office, we had a secretary. She wouldn't answer the phone because she was watching the entire trial. And the day that they announced the verdict, Cindy McNabb lost her mind. Like had to be calmed down. So I'm not a fan of
neither
that person that you mentioned.
Oh God, neither am I. I was showing an example of dark humor.
Oh.
I'm not. I am. Do not label me as a fan of Casey Anthony or anything.
I don't want to judge. Coming up on the show, the black shirt, Jay Moore, straight off the set of Big Red Wrap Up, will be joining us coming up at 8:30 to make his season debut. John Walker stops by at 9, and Brandon Vogel at 9:40. That's the lineup brought to you by the Rooferys at John Higgins Weather Guard. All right, tomorrow night. Let me read it.
What was that grunt?
Was that a grunt?
Was that the grunt for
It's
the?
just a grunt.
Was that
It's a grunt.
grunting the slate?
You know, it's been a long camp. You know what? I think the floor and the ceiling have gotten further apart, which is a good thing. And I like the fact that today is the last. Well, tomorrow, and then we're done. That the only thing that matters, all this optimism, which is real. I mean, you cannot run away from it. And also, this is the day kind of you're in. All right, you're committed. If you are 7-5, 8-4, 9-3, 10-2, 11-1, 12-0, 13-0, winning the national championship, this is the day you commit to it, and you cannot go back. And you either will be validated or whatever. But the optimism and the confidence that is clearly visible from everybody that is involved with Nebraska football and the majority of the fan base. This is like the last day. This is the last day to commit to it, because tomorrow is a game, and then Friday we can start reacting to stuff. And so thank you. Also, this is as I was looking at the slate, and I was listening to a rule yesterday. Aren't you glad you went? It was like 13 minutes. That was a lightning round. He was like, you know what? It's been a long August. Let's get in, let's get out, let's play some football. What else do you guys want to know?
I definitely was probably better off going to the Aramark taste testing thing that I decided not to go to as opposed to yesterday. But you know what? I went. I showed face. I probably shouldn't reveal this. I got there a little late. It was
It'll take you so long to get to Lincoln. I left at 10.
I left at 10:06.
Okay.
It took 57 minutes to get there.
Were you going to the AVCA volleyball showcase Friday night?
No,
traffic was just a nightmare.
Was it? I imagine
it was bad.
No, it was 57 minutes to get there. I cut it down to 55. I didn't really do my best Dominic Toretto impression.
How did it take you 55 minutes to get from here to Lincoln?
Because I drive the speed limit.
Nobody drives the speed limit on 80.
There were 4 different cop cars on there. There was 2 on the way there and there's 2 on the way back.
Matt's going down for the press conference.
If I was trying to,
that's true, Joey.
If I was trying to beat time and like shave a couple minutes off, I would have gotten pulled over. I would have gotten a ticket. Okay, there's a guarantee that would have happened. He went on. Typically, the whole practice concludes at this time and he'll be on the podium around this time means like 15 minutes after everything that they announced. He was at the podium at 11. So I got there. I actually only enjoyed 12 minutes of the 14-minute press conference.
Yeah, I think by this point you're just ready to play. I mean, you've talked everything. What else can you do? I mean, it was a lightning round. It was quick. It was in. It was out. And there is a lot of optimism. And we're about to find out the price of optimism. Either you are going to be able to cash in on your optimism or you're going to cash out. I hate one word that is kind of starting to be attached to tomorrow night. Because I think if this word is used, I'm worried about Nebraska.
One word.
Mm-hmm.
One word you don't. I don't know. I don't know what the one word would be.
I think if you're using the word pressure, Nebraska has a lot of pressure tomorrow night. That's scary because you know what? Pressure to me is you haven't prepared properly. You feel pressure when you haven't prepared properly. I would think that Nebraska has prepared properly to play their first game of the season. So I don't think they face pressure, even though they have the better staff, better OC, better DC, returning quarterback. They are a favorite. They're going to play in a neutral site game where it'll be everybody that you know and your brother. And you know, Nebraska's goal is to get people in wheelchairs out of their wheelchair by their play tomorrow night.
That's a hell of a quote from Singleton.
That is an incredible quote. That might be one of the top 10 quotes of all time in the history of Nebraska football. So I don't like the word pressure because I think you only have pressure if you're not prepared. I believe that Nebraska is prepared. And let's just go. You know what? We're either going to wear the cod piece or we're going to throw the cod piece into the Missouri River or the Platte River and go, here we go. This is what it used to be like.
Sure.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the pain. I'm ready for the exhilaration. I'm ready for y'all to complain about everything. Hey, how come they didn't beat Akron by 60? Well, because they took a knee when they were up 53.
See,
let's go.
I agree. I don't disagree with what you say about pressure, and I think it's a very intelligent way of looking at it. But I do also think that pressure stems from doing things or being expected to do something you haven't done before. Like, for example, Penn State is an incredible football team with a ton of talent and has high quality coaches and all those things. They're under pressure because they're trying to win a national championship. They haven't done that. Sark is under pressure because he's trying to do something that he hasn't done before. Nebraska, I do think, is under pressure because they're trying to win 8 games. They're trying to win 9 games. There are people who are expecting them to do things that they haven't done before. So I think that does entail that. But, and this is more toward your point,
it's because they lived with pressure for so long in this program. And you know what? The pressure has, the pipes have burst.
Well, I think to your point,
it's time to make sure that your home is winterized, that those pipes don't burst.
To your point, though, of like being prepared and handling pressure, you're going to handle pressure no matter what in college football. Like, it does not matter. Like, year to year, you are always going to be under some sort of pressure, especially like the better you get, the more that was a great pop.
Wow.
The better you get, you could argue the more pressure you're going to face, because if they win 9 games this season and they end up bringing a lot of the same guys back, which they're poised to do if this season goes well, you're going to be under even more pressure.
But you know what? Here's where we're going to differ.
Okay.
Today is also the last day to stop talking about next year until next year gets here.
Sure.
Because now it's time to talk about the first game of the season. And I know I got a lot of coach speak here, and people are like, you're not supposed to do that in sports talk radio. You're supposed to speculate, and you're supposed to be crazy and wild. I'm just going to be real with y'all. It's finally time to play a football game, and all that matters is Cincinnati and then on to the next one and this season. There's a lot of things that could happen this season that could set up for next year. But next year, once tomorrow hits, is a long way away. Now, here is the quote from Singleton. Now, I'm probably not going to give it justice on how he said it.
He's so funny.
Because I'm just a regular radio guy, just reading a quote. The
way you're not going to do this justice.
No. And I'm not even going to try.
Because
Deshaun has a very different sounding voice. By the way, I'm telling you, if Williams Nwaneri does not make it in the game of football, get that man a job in radio doing voiceovers.
Oh, I didn't hear him.
You would think he's about 45 years old.
Good Lord.
We Fina make people in wheelchairs stand up.
Whoa.
I know.
Go back. Try it again.
We Fina.
No, try it again.
We Fina?
No.
We Fina?
Finna. We finna make people in wheelchairs stand up.
That's not a word I've ever used in my life until this morning. No, I've never used finna.
You finna don't go down to 7-Eleven and pick up an Aki?
Okay. I don't know what you're speaking, but you're not speaking anything that I've ever heard before.
You don't finna go down to Pepper Jack and pick up a chopped cheese?
No. Okay. Go back to your gating.
We finna go to Kansas City tonight, man. That's a thing. A lot of people say that.
So many people are excited for that. I'm
excited.
We finna make people in wheelchairs stand up. Now, there is a strong contingent of Nebraska fans that go to games home and away that are in a wheelchair. Please, anybody that is in a wheelchair or has a friend and you are a saint for taking them to the game, getting them into the parking spot, getting them out of the car, getting them into the stadium, because there's some hassles. If this does happen, please take a video. And if this does happen, I'm just telling you, Deshaun Singleton is cooking with peanut oil if this happens. But that is a quote that I'm gonna pretty much, first of all, read the replies, and you can tell the age of people that are replying because they don't know what FINNA stands for. But that is a top 10 quote by a Husker football player of all time.
It's incredible. I didn't know that Deshaun Singleton was trying to be Saint Andre Bissett when he grew up. That's a deep cut, by the way, if you're really into the Saints.
I mean, look at this. This could be a season where Nebraska's play gets people out of wheelchairs now to stand up. Now, I don't know if Deshaun is thinking like they're going to walk or they just need to stand up because they're so excited. But let's be honest. If that happens, that also means that Nebraska is a miracle worker.
See,
because they'd be in the playoff and people are like, oh my God, that's a miracle.
See, here's what they should do. If Deshaun Singleton's play makes you stand up out of your wheelchair, you should then take the wheelchair and you should put it at the door of Memorial Stadium. And that way, when you walk in, it'll be a symbol, a visual symbol of look at what this play has done. That's another St. Andre Bissett joke. I should probably stop making those.
Those are stolen quite often. Some of the really, really nice ones.
Wheelchairs?
Very valuable, but they're heavy.
Wheelchair theft, is that a big thing?
Yeah.
That is, or are you joking?
I'm serious. It is. It is. It's really? Not as popular as stealing shopping carts, but it's right up there.
My brother's wife, she's better now, but she had a heart condition.
Okay, good to hear.
And
she's not the heart condition, but that she's doing better.
She's doing so much better. Okay. She had a child. Modern medicine has.
While she was having the heart condition.
Yes, modern medicine has completely changed. She's got everything like that.
To her.
But a couple of years ago, before she was a lot better, we would go to Disney World because they love Disney World, and she could walk and everything like that, but she couldn't walk for more than a mile or more than 2 miles without potentially passing out. Oh. So she would get a wheelchair. And we would wheel her across Disney World. The perks of being able to be in the fast pass line consistently because you're with a wheelchair party. It was one of the best days I've ever had at Disney World. We were at the front of every line. We hit almost every ride we wanted to. It was great. Shout out Sarah.
A couple of tweets here. No Fremont Fred. Sergeant Holka's Big Toe. He says 1620 North Epstein Island, Kansas City, Missouri.
Jeez.
I don't think that's... Yeah.
God, no.
I'm not participating in that. You youngins can do that.
I'm not going to do it.
I'm very much opposed to that, but, do what you will. I don't judge.
I don't know what the participation is going to be. I'm going to get to Kansas City. I'm going to eat food, and then I'm going to go back to the place, put on a baseball game, and start prepping.
You should have the same enthusiasm that Connor and Josh have for going to Kansas City.
I have enthusiasm.
And that is how many hits on a scale of 1 to 10 the Royals had through 7 innings last night on the south side of Chicago. Brian says, I drive the interstates and highways every day. Nobody is getting pulled over for driving 5 miles over the limit.
No, I'm not driving.
Just drive with the flow of traffic. That's what I do.
I drive. Okay, Joey, don't have to tell me how to drive, right? I'm a good driver. Okay, 7 miles over the speed limit.
I haven't seen you drive.
I've barely seen you drive. I've just seen you crawl a van up a hill while I ran around like a hero handing out a bunch of popsicles.
Well, you left your car keys in the vehicle afterwards.
Yeah, you know what? They fell out of my pocket when I was giving the great kids of Dundee popsicles.
You two might want to give some context to this because that was kind of a weird story.
We were at Joey and I volunteered for Dundee Day, and Joey drove the car that a lot of people came in up and down Underwood, and I hopped out of the car and I had popsicles and I was handing out popsicles.
Yeah, he was
to the great youth of Dundee.
Is that what our giveaway was?
Yeah, we would.
Not
we would
bad.
hand
Not bad.
Popsicles.
I like that.
We were very popular. There were kids though who were like, "Can you put the popsicle in my bag?" And I was like, "You don't. No. You got to eat this sucker. Like you got to. I think it's gonna melt in there if I put it in your like." They had bags like Halloween, like
popsicle,
or no, like a push pop.
Okay.
You know.
All right.
Oh, not a sucker, yeah. Like a frozen popsicle. Yeah, just put that in there.
Don has chimed back in about top 10 quote. We take what we want. Billy C. Is that a top 10? Hopefully they have to adjust us. That is definitely in the top 10. And then hip hip hooray from Mike Riley. I don't know. That really wasn't a quote. that was a celebration.
Yeah.
People really don't refer back to that celebration in the locker room after wins under the Mike Riley era very often.
A warrior doesn't need a weapon. A warrior is the weapon.
That's that would make its way into the top 10.
And then if we die, we die.
Okay, so Rule could have 2 entries into the top 10 quotes of all time.
Anthony Grant has a fumbling problem. We can't put a guy out there who can't hold on to the football. Is that in there?
No.
Okay.
Fred, you not need to call in to explain what the game is that he would like us to play in the 1620 The Zone house in Overland Park, Kansas. But we'll be there for the next 2 days, and of course, we with our good partners at Blur Tailgate parties, we'll be inside of the K, right there. We'll be able to look and see where the Tigers and the Royals will play on Friday night before nothing but Husker fans at Husker Night at the K. So that'll be coming up tomorrow. And then the game is tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. All right, when we come back, our top 3 things that we saw or heard over the weekend. And we have made it through the first segment, boys. Congratulations.
Yes.
You guys have come a long way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Because we might be the only radio show that does not mention something that happened yesterday in its opening segment.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I figure we'll probably...
At some point.
But I did write a bunch of notes on it, so...
Yeah?
I do have thoughts on it.
Well, Deshaun Singleton has a top 10 quote. My guy, my tight end that wears 87, and we've got one last ride, and he looks good. He's got a good haircut. He's slimmed down. I even drafted him in my fantasy football league. Whoa. 87. It's one more for 87. Is that the greatest shoot your shot in the history of shooting your shot? What he did?
I'll give it to him.
Yeah.
Tough to disagree with that.
Yeah.
All right. We're off and rolling. It's Gary and Matt. Joey, the king, is in today on 1620 The Zone.
Your grunts per capita today has never been higher.
This is a grunting Wednesday.
Is that what we're calling it? Grunt Wednesday as opposed to Hump Day?
Yeah. Welcome back in. It is the middle of the week. It is a day away from Nebraska, Cincinnati. The football season is finally here. We've made it. Lots of stuff going on. School's back in session. You got fall sports that are beginning. Tomorrow night is also the first night of high school football around here. So it is a banger of a holiday weekend. 91 college football games. And Nebraska is involved in one of the rare ones that is Power 4 on Power 4 crime. It is the Big 10 against the Big 12.
Can you imagine telling somebody that in 2009? Hey, in 16 years, Nebraska and Cincinnati are going to play each other in Kansas City, and it'll be a Power 5 matchup. One of them will be in the Big 10. Oh, that's a great question. If you told somebody 16 years ago, hey, Cincinnati and Nebraska are going to play in 2025. One team will be in the Big 10 and one team will be in the Big 12. Which team is in which conference? Who are you guessing is in which conference? You're definitely guessing Cincinnati's in the Big 10 and Nebraska's in the Big 12. No, you know
what? I would have said as their current. Because looking at Cincinnati's profile, it doesn't fit the Big 10.
Sure.
And I don't know that Ohio State would want
another
Columbus.
Ohio team.
Well, you got Columbus and Cincinnati are what, 2 hours away?
Yeah, about 2 hours.
Yeah. One quick thing before we get to our top three things. Do you see the Texas-Ohio State line overnight?
No, I did
Please
not.
tell me it shifted toward Texas. It's like +1.5 now.
So Texas is +1 at circa.
Okay.
The last time
Thank you
that Ohio State was a home underdog, you guys know the opponent, the date, and the outcome?
Home underdog, opponent, date, and outcome.
Was that when they hosted USC?
That is not correct, but you are walking down a good path.
Or the last time they played Texas in Columbus when I think.
Oh no! Wait! Were they an underdog against Tennessee in the college football playoff?
No.
Okay. Thought it might have been a trick question.
So this is. I was a little surprised by this. You got to go back to 2018.
Is it a?
Oh, I was way far off.
Is it a Michigan game?
Yep. And they beat Michigan.
Yeah.
62-39.
Jeez, I was back when they were kicking their butts every year. It's incredible how that rivalry has shifted in terms of like it can never be one or the other. It's always it just seems like over the last 9 years at this point, it's just been one gets on a roll and then the other one gets on a roll.
So they went back and forth. Of course, the whole Portnoy, Ohio State, Michigan thing yesterday.
Mm-hmm. He's got who? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, Fox created the drama. It's actually smart. It is great publicity for Fox. It's absolutely the best publicity when you know that you're getting butt kicked on the lead into your college football games by another show. You created this. Good job, Fox. Very, very smart on their part to create this drama that brings Ohio State into it and now is getting people talking about it because Fox is set up to have a really bad week. Remember, they have until 4:00 today to resolve the issue with YouTube TV, which they will because deadlines usually further things along unless you're the Dallas Cowboys. But Fox could have a very wild week, but good on them. Smart to create this drama. But I was thinking as us from afar are like, you know what? Hey, I'm just focused on Nebraska, Cincinnati, but I got Ohio State and Michigan chirping at each other, which reiterates the greatest rivalry in college sports. Who is the most hated college football program right now?
Michigan.
I would say Alabama.
Whoa,
still
really?
Without Saban and stumbling last year.
Well, I just mean just how they've been dominant in the modern era of college football. Ooh. They won 7 national championships, and all talk is about Alabama. To this day, it's still all about Alabama.
See, I think that Michigan will always leave a sour taste in people's mouths. Just first off, just being a dominant program makes you hated.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the whole cheating scandal. And then, I don't think Portnoy does. Portnoy just accentuates every sort of stereotype that you may dislike about Michigan. I wonder, though, if we were in an SEC town, an SEC radio station, and we asked this question, you might have a person or two say Indiana. Indiana's been getting a lot of, I think Indiana
across the board is the most hated college football program.
Not across the board. I think from an I was saying, if we're an SEC, I think the South, especially with the comments that Signetti's made about the SEC, their terrible non-con schedule, the fact that he's been so bold and about his team and how he's built it. I do think Indiana's getting a lot of hate. I don't think it's across the board. I think cross sports.
I think that would be. I think you'd be a weak fan if Indiana was your most hated program, because they've had 1 year.
Well,
it has to be over time that you like hate a program, like hate,
sure.
like the hate that Michigan and Ohio State have is on a whole different level. But like across the board, if I walked into Sonny's in Eugene, Oregon today, and I said, "Hey, give me a Blue Moon," I got my Birkenstocks on. Yep, I got my braids. All right, my hair smells like yarn. Who is the most hated college football program?
Michigan.
What about this? And Adam is kind of reading my mind where I'm going, because they used to be the evil empire, and then they went away for a little bit. They're still not looked upon really fondly around here. All of a sudden, the worlds are colliding. They have the most hyped college football prospect ever. They have all of the money, and they have the number one team in the country. Is Texas back in being the most hated college football program?
I think it's dependent on the results of the season. Actually, I think because of the cheating scandal, it puts Michigan above Texas, and because of just how and the whole Netflix documentary too with Connor Scallions and making him look like a genius didn't do him any favors. But I think if Texas ends, to your point, Texas ends up going 13-0 this year. They win the SEC. Yeah. They got Arch Manning. They're going to be one of the top stories in sports. We're going to be talking about the Longhorns.
They're the New York Yankees of college athletics.
But if they end up losing
without championships, but a gobsmack of money,
if they end up losing and they have like a pretty bad year or not up to their standards, people will hate them too, because they'll be like, we spent all this time talking about Texas, hyping up Texas, saying Arch Manning's this, Arch Manning's that. Steve Sarkisian is the new Nick Saban, and like, look what they did. So I would say that they're in the this is cool, Texas is back phase a little bit right now. Like, because I think there are some people who are like
Texas.
I think there are some people who are like, hey, I'm glad that Texas is good. I'm glad that we can hate them, and then this year they will go into hating.
Jeremy says I went to school at South Carolina. Nice. I actually like Columbia, but Columbia is like the hottest place in the world during the summer. But I really like Columbia.
Is it humid out there? Is it very
landlocked,
sticky?
and it's friggin'. You've been to South Carolina in the summer? Unless you're on the water?
I've been to Hilton Head, but that's on the water.
True. Yeah, Columbia is hot, but it's a good college town. And I had a good time tailgating at a South Carolina game.
Who doesn't have a good time tailgating an SEC game? Dan and make it happen.
Hey, it's the only place in college football I've ever tailgated in a caboose. Look it up.
in a train caboose?
Yeah. So outside of Bryce Williams, you can buy like a rent, and they have cabooses.
That's
and
awesome.
It's pretty cool. The tailgating scene in Columbia is really,
Is
really
a caboose a Southern Cabana?
Jeremy continues. He said Ohio State, most hated team in the South. It's not even close. It's almost obsessive. See, the thing with Michigan, and Michigan is definitely on the list. And I know what just happened, and we all know what's going to happen. This is going to end up with Connor Stallions helping Ohio State steal Michigan signals. I mean, that's just how this script is written. Does Michigan lose a little bit of because the guy that was there is now going to be in Brazil next Friday night?
Okay. No, you wait. Right. You wait till they're good again. Like you wait until like, man, if Bryce Underwood ends up being like the superstar and like catches fire and is absolutely incredible, everybody. It doesn't matter. And also too, Sharon Moore is just as a big a part of that cheating scandal.
Well, he seems like a nice guy.
Yeah. Hey,
he cried after a win when he was filling in for the suspended Harbaugh.
Hey, Gary.
On there.
Gary, have you ever heard of anybody innocent who deletes 50 text messages? Disconcerting signals? Is that disconcerting signals?
Good point. There's a lot of divorce lawyers out there that are like, yeah, Matt, you're onto something. All right. You guys, if so, you know, I'm a big, every year I go to one SEC game.
Yeah.
Bryce Williams, which looks like an upside down
crown trophy.
No, like tarantula. So the way, like the way the light standards are.
I have to see this.
But I like Columbia a lot. You got Sandstorm. If you like Sandstorm, you'll like going to a USC game. And by the way, when you're down there, you call them Carolina or USC. And I think, do they still have the jersey that does just have Carolina and they tick off the people from North Carolina?
Yes.
But they also tick off, when you're in that part of the country, just a heads up, and you say USC and we all think it's Southern Cal, they're going to correct you. Or they think you're talking about, they're like, wait a minute, do you have Lincoln Riley and Shane Beamer mixed up? Learn that right away. USC here is South Carolina.
So they call them Southern Cal over in South Carolina.
Real quick. I see where you're going with the upside down tarantula. Can I give you another upside down animal here that it looks more similar to?
Awkward. Okay.
An upside down crab. I think it like with the the white and it's got a little underbelly. I think that's a crab.
Here is Mike on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning, Gary. It's been a while.
Hey, all right. Hey, don't hang up when you're done making a point because I got a question for you.
All right. Here's my point. I think the most hated college football team from everybody right now is Colorado. Everybody's tired of all the Sanders. And I mean, I know Sanders is, they both got drafted this past year, but boy, a lot of people hate Deion.
Yeah, that's if we were having this conversation last year, Mike, I would be nodding with you. I think with Colorado, I think the temp has been taken down at CU because the media are not just glazing Deion right now; they're glazing his son. So Colorado's not like it talked about. Can I give you one quick one on the heels of that? Could North Carolina with Belichick, if they have a good year, become a hated team because they're going to be, if they're successful, they're going to be pushed in our face every week?
If they're successful, yes, but if they don't, they'll be a big joke, and Bill will be a bigger joke than what everybody's already. Oh, he can't win without Tom. And if he goes and he loses at North Carolina, man, his rep is. I don't think he cares, but his rep will be tarnished for a long time.
All right, Mike. Give it to me. How are we feeling? Because you shoot me straight. You've gone the ups and the downs.
I do my best not to be drinking the Kool-Aid this year.
I know,
but I think Thursday will be okay, and I'm going 9-3, Gary.
Okay,
9-3, 8-4, 9-3. 8-4 would be okay. 9-3 would be exciting.
I got you down for 9-3, Mike.
All right. I think we're good Thursday too.
All right. Cover or no cover?
6.5. I'm going no cover.
Okay.
I think it's a good play.
I just think it's just the first game. A lot can happen in the first game. You know.
Hey, I agree, Mike. Great to hear from you. Football is back now.
All
right.
Real quick, can I throw one more out there for you?
Sharon Moore, what?
Because we're all about like an easy way for people to get hated on in team perspective is like, oh my God, they spend a lot of money. That's not skill. They're just spending a ton of money.
Or they win. Hello, Nebraska. 90s.
If Texas Tech has a great year after just, the Matador Club just dropping all that money on 13 four-star transfers, you think, and they like end up winning the Big 12 and like they like become a pretty premier Big 12 franchise and they're like, telling everybody, hey, we're the class of the Big 12. We run the Big 12 now. I could see them getting a lot of like, screw you. It's just you have a rich donor.
I don't.
You don't think so?
No, because they've come from the bottom.
Yeah.
And your hate would be towards your own football program or athletic department. Why can't we do what Texas Tech is doing?
Real quick, too. The over-under on Nebraska-Cincinnati has dropped. It was 54.5 yesterday. Now down to 52.5. Dropped 2 whole points.
Whoa.
I think a lot of people
better tell that person's going to get out of their wheelchair on Thursday night to cheer Nebraska that they're not confident.
That line needed to go down.
There is
that total was too high.
So the Kansas City meteorologists are saying that there is rain possible.
Oof.
Yeah. Maybe the Vegas people are listening to
Gary and Matt.
No. Well, they're listening to Gary. I think he just retired. He was a longtime meteorologist in Kansas City.
Oh, his name is Gary?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were making fun of me. Oh, yeah.
No. I think he just retired. When I was a kid, he was in Des Moines.
Gary Busey?
All right. We'll get to our top 3 when we come back. Jay Moore will join us in about 90 minutes with his thoughts on this season. And if I can convince him that the best position to play on Nebraska's defense will be the jack linebacker. I will try. As Nebraska gets prepared to play a team that they're a 6.5-point favorite against that has 3 guys on Bruce Feldman's freak list. Nebraska has nada. Take that to the bank.
The Wildcats have a guy in that freak list. What are we doing?
Hey, you got to start somewhere. It's Gary and Matt with Joey on 1620 The Zone. All right, hour number 2. How many hours are we away? 24.
You can do it.
35.
It's 37.
It's 37?
It's 37.
Do we have to check your math?
Nope. 5 plus 7 is 12, plus 8, 13. 13 plus 24, 37.
That check out, Joey?
I gotta do the math.
You guys are always shocked. I'm good at
I'm not used to Nebraska playing at 8 o'clock.
Head math, I'm incredible at.
It's 37.
All
Math in the head.
37 hours until there's no going back. What? Hey, you got to commit. You know what? Travis committed to Taylor. You got 37 hours to commit, and then there's no going back. And you're either going to be right, you're going to be wrong. You're going to be able to do laps. You're going to be able to have rule receipts, which he's keeping, I'm told.
Rule receipts.
Uh-huh.
That sounds like a great radio segment.
Yeah, well, that's the case. But it may this may shift people's opinion of tomorrow night. Isn't the Powerball drawing tonight?
I don't know.
What do you look at? I'm talking.
We don't do. Yeah,
It's 815 million according to the sign that I drove by last night.
I don't know anybody my age who is like, hey, I got to go to the gas station and do the lottery drawings. I'm not making fun. I'm not making fun of people
tonight.
I am not making fun of people who do it. I'm just saying I don't think it's a Gen Z type deal.
Okay, so just preparing everybody. When you go into your office today, there's going to be that one office worker that will come around to collect, so that as a group you can go and buy a Powerball ticket. That sounds like something after we dined tonight that the five of us, sorry, Josh and John, we'll go buy a Powerball ticket. And if we win, I ain't doing the show tomorrow.
Well, I don't trust that. I don't trust the person who I give my money to just end up splitting it with. Is that a legally binding thing? If I give somebody X amount of money, they end up buying the ticket themselves. They don't have to pay me back, do they?
Well, you're in a group, so they're buying a group of tickets. Now you say, hey, send me the screenshot of your tickets. You've never done this before?
No, I've never done this before. Do you all buy your own tickets? Or
No. Like somebody will collect money.
Okay.
And then they will go and buy the tickets.
Oh, so it's a mass amount of tickets.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
There was, what was it? Was it it's not a meat packing plant in Lincoln. It was this was probably 15 years ago. There was 7 people that won a major drawing. I wasn't living here, but I remember seeing it on the Today Show, and I'm like, I don't know those people, but I know Lincoln. Yeah, it was like 7 people in a factory.
You ever hear of Jerry and Marge Go Large? That's a move.
That sounds like a football play.
Sorry, I should have maybe read that in my head before. Jerry and Marge Go Large is a lottery ticket movie with Rainn Wilson.
Oh yes, and Bryan Cranston. Yes. So I've only seen the movie on TikTok.
Me too. Yeah. I've only ever seen the clips. I've never sat down and watched the 96-minute film. But the great scene where he leaves his wife in the gas station, where he's like, I just divorced, and then about a week later, you'll see a clip again. You'll be like, oh, here's this movie with Rainn Wilson, and it's him being like, oh yeah, we win the lottery. Great movie.
See, here's the other thing.
At least I've been told.
Usually these are not at the most popular places. They're in a remote place. Hey, Casey's in Seward. Somebody won $300,000.
And they put the big check up on the thing. I've never been to a gas station or any place like that, or a liquor store like that, where they have the big signs. Maybe that's should be a tall like a tell. If you go into a gas station, they don't have the big old checks that tell you how much people won in the past. Maybe you shouldn't be buying from there.
Here is Don to kick off the hour.
That's a new one. You want to read what his prompt was, though? It was a great prompt.
Maybe Don got nervous. He was going to tell us that Nebraska is going to go 10-2.
Yeah, that would have been electric. That's what he told me.
He might have got nervous. He might have said, you know what? Ooh, I'm just looking. I'm looking at Sorsby without a shirt on, and I'm like, man, compared to Raiola, just kidding.
I'm looking at Dylan's average depth of target, and it's just not where I want it to be.
Sorsby as a starting quarterback is 6-13. Dylan is 7-6. Ooh. I don't know about 10-2. I'll call the guys back later. All right, let's while we have time here, because we got involved with hating college football programs to end the last hour. Top 3 things that yesterday you saw or heard.
My number one thing, Rajon Rondo is the number 1 overall rated flag football quarterback in the United States. This is a sentence that I read and a video that I did not think I needed. I watched all of it. First off, he's a baller. He's incredible. He's just you just learn. This is the classic, like, when we had the could football players play basketball or basketball players play football? This is the classic, like, you actually found out how great of athletes basketball players are. And that's him. And he is an older guy, and he just picked up this hobby. He's the number one. So coming to an Olympics near you, Rajon Rondo. Second best thing I saw, they will be celebrating this weekend, 80 years of Tomatina in Spain. Do you know what that is? Do you know what Tomatina is? Have you ever heard of this?
No.
Tomatina is a Spanish food fight that they have in Spain every single year. It's their 80th anniversary.
I'd rather run with the Bulls in Spain than have a food fight, but that's just me.
Essentially, you go to one of the most beautiful countries in the world, and you pay $17.50, and they give you tomatoes like it's snowballs, like they're snowballs, and you just whoop them at people for like an hour, and you just get into a massive food fight. People have described it as like you're just going to slush of tomatoes for 45 minutes. It's like you can't see or do anything like that. But apparently it gets really romantic at the end. Like people bathe in the tomatoes and kiss their loved ones and whatnot. So it sounds like a great little thing. I've never heard of it until I saw it yesterday. Cracker Barrel logo's back, baby.
Yes.
It's back. It's beautiful. It's better than ever. I will put this in the Choco Taco range of things where people got really upset when the Choco Taco went away, but it was never going to affect like how you live your life or whether or not you get up in the morning. And people got really, really upset about it. And we were able to turn back the decisions that were made. The people did it again. Cracker Barrel is back.
Our national nightmare is over. Now we can have a discussion about how the quality of food at Cracker Barrel has slipped.
See, that's the thing. How many people who were really banging on the drum for Cracker Barrel to rechange their logo consistently go to a Cracker Barrel?
Well, that's how America works, my friend.
It was the same thing with the Choco Taco. Everybody got up in arms about the Choco Taco no longer being available at your ice cream stores. I'm sorry. When was the last time you ate that thing?
Maybe when I was a little bit younger.
I was a SpongeBob guy.
They had SpongeBob Choco Tacos?
No, they had SpongeBob like popsicles. Joe knows what I'm talking about. They had the two eyes were blueberry bubblegum. They're the best. It was like a lemon sorbet type.
I wasn't familiar with them.
What were you, a Spider-Man guy? Or were you a creamsicle?
I don't eat desserts.
What?
He doesn't eat desserts. That's what he just said.
I don't eat the popsicles and all that. I don't eat the frozen items.
You don't want red, white, and blue bomb pop?
No.
Go to Aldi. They're very popular at Aldi.
I'll see them there, but I just choose to not eat them.
You're telling me you go to Hell's Kitchen in Vegas and you have these incredible burgers and you're not willing to
I did not
have a little
burger.
ice cream?
I did not have a burger.
Oh, my
apologies. There is Gordon
My
Ramsay
apologies.
burger down in Vegas.
My apologies. What did you have at Hell's Kitchen?
I had a lobster risotto and then like half of a beef Wellington.
Living at large, Joey Colbert.
People are saying on the chat, and I fully agree, that the greatest character on SpongeBob is Gary the Snail. I agree.
No,
All right,
no, he does nothing.
Yeah, he does.
He
has an important role.
He does nothing. He has no dialogue. He just goes around. He pops up every like once in a while. He's like
There's a couple episodes
he's like Toby from The Office.
Hey,
no,
actually, Toby from The Office is a great character.
Don't give him that comparison.
It's the power of meow. If you know, you know. All right, my top three things. One, folks, you've been put on the clock. So Troy Dannon had his radio show last night. He said, trust. We will not run out of beer. It is now a challenge to all of Husker Nation a week from Saturday to drink Memorial Stadium out of beer. The athletic director said, trust. I want the fans to say, not so fast. You have been put on the clock. The other thing that to get excited about, and I just added this, so you will get to interact with him as a frequent host of Big Red Overreaction. It is a great follow, especially on Saturdays for the post-game call-in shows for Nebraska football. NU Radio Caller is back. They have activated their account this morning. So there was concern that, and I know who this is because when he first started, like we interacted off of in DMs. Great story. and I think it's the same person, but it is a fantastic follow after Husker games. Dave Feit put it out that he went searching for him and that the account was not there. I just looked it up, and it has been reactivated. NU radio caller. Prepare yourself for tomorrow night.
Okay.
And I hope he prepares. Because let's see, he's an hour behind us. He will be prepared for late night Big Red Overreaction. And
I just followed him. I'm his only follower right now.
And then the last one for everybody that's going to Kansas City. If you went to Kansas City to watch the Huskers and the Sooners play in 2006, and you're like, oh, geez, we got to play these effing hillbillies. It was 30 degrees at kickoff. The wind chill was 22, and you looked at your Weather Channel app, and you said, BS. It's much colder than that.
Yeah.
And you froze, and it took you until Nebraska City at the truck stop to like unfroze.
Unfreeze.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
Look at you.
I know.
So tomorrow night is your night.
The resting people to just
the weather.
Yeah. Well,
the weather. It'll be 73 at kickoff, 66 in the fourth quarter when Dylan Raiola says, "Not so fast, Jalen Gramstad. I am the human victory cigar," and takes a knee in victory formation. How about the weather tomorrow night? Usually you'd think, man, it's going to be like 100 degrees. It's going to be miserable. It's going to be a fat man's weight loss paradise. You're just going to be sweating, and that's all you want to be is around 70,000 other sweaty Nebraskans. Not tonight, not tomorrow night. You're going to get rewarded if you went to the 06 game. It's going to feel much different. Now, to be fair, that game was in December. This game is at the end of August. Thank you.
I wouldn't mind a little rain. I obviously don't want lightning. I don't want it to get delayed or anything like that.
You want a little rain during the game?
A little drizzle, just like a little drizzle.
Why?
Just because football's back. I just think football is such there's just a different attitude when there's a little bit of rain during the game.
I guess you want the players to get used to the slippery football.
I'm not saying a downpour. I'm not saying like a thunder. I'm not saying a
rain.
Just a little drizzle. I just think it like
football is back. If you see drizzle,
it's just like the mud gets on the white jerseys, the grass stains become a little bit more pungent. You're kind of like, man, we're back. Like these two teams, they're slogging it out. They're fighting for everything. They're trying to survive, trying to win a football game. It just adds a slight element of toughness without canceling the game or getting anybody hurt. I'm that incredible, by the way.
Ask Jay Moore that. Are you tougher when it's raining compared to just playing in beautiful conditions or in bitterly cold conditions?
Well, if there's any, by the way, I didn't know this. Your turf, your grass in Kansas City, how incredible it is and how scientific and just like it's the fastest track in the NFL and like it's very injury preventing and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's like it's very high quality.
Well, you got the World Cup coming next year.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good field, and there has only been one football game played on it, and that was Friday night in the preseason game. So the Chiefs only had one preseason game at home.
Real quick, when you're talking about NU radio caller and him reactivating his Twitter, I gave him a follow. Did you see this? I think our friend and colleague Josh Tweederson, his Twitter is down. Like,
really?
It got suspended yesterday, and I've been trying to like look it back up. It is somebody's out there trying to fully sabotage Mr. Tweederson.
I don't know.
Right before.
I would not know because of our long going bit. Josh has never followed me, and I've never followed Josh on Twitter.
If there's ever been a moment, if there's ever been an opportunity for you to follow him.
He is suspended?
You can't. Josh Tweederson does not exist on Twitter.
What happened?
I was looking at I have no idea what happened. I don't know if the Thomas Fedoni fan club got really, really mad at him all of a sudden and decided to send the dogs. But because I was looking up NU radio
Free Josh.
And
that's
then
BS.
And then I re-looked up Josh because I was like, oh, I wonder if this is still going on. He's off. He's completely off. Somebody's out to get him.
Wow. Hey,
it's devastating, by the way, for that man.
Elon. Dude, Josh is solid.
I guess he doesn't like groin kick chronicles.
Yeah.
There's got to be a reason behind it. Josh doesn't. I mean,
Josh doesn't do anything vulgar.
No,
he doesn't. He doesn't tweet out anything crazy. He doesn't put on like dumb videos or say stupid things or anything like that. Did
he do something to a Tesla?
He goes, yeah, I just got banned for the third time for some reason, and he sent me he got a whole like email like describing like why he got banned. He apparently violated his rules against inauthentic behaviors.
Wow. Did you guys know that about Josh, that he's a little bit out there?
Can anyone define what type of behavior?
Josh Peterson, inauthentic.
That's wild.
Tough. That is so tough.
I mean, hey, man, you go after Teslas. Look what happens.
Did he go after Teslas? Did he after?
That's a crazy story. That's
the day before Nebraska
did he get
football game.
Did they get confusing with somebody else? There's no way that he would do anything that got him banned.
No way he did anything. Oh, the best part about
but
this
I would use that as when you get back, I would have that on my avatar as one of your pictures.
Josh should crop a photo of him in an orange jumpsuit, like him taking like a mug shot. Like that would be an incredible Twitter profile.
Adam Texas in the show. Yes, I said Texas. He said inauthentic behaviors equals disconcerting signals.
Was he clapping too much on Twitter?
I don't know. I clap a lot, but not on Twitter. He maybe clap back at the wrong person.
I like clapping back.
Josh likes to get into it. I've heard on Twitter. He likes a little back and forth.
Not as much as he used to, because I remember even before I ever met Josh, I knew him as a Twitter person.
Yeah,
like he was. I only ever knew you as a radio guy. I knew Josh as that dude on Twitter because he was just incredibly active and would get after people. I don't know. Maybe as he's become older, that he's less aggressive on Twitter. He's less into it. He's less into the action.
That's all like really, really unfortunate, especially at the start of the football season.
Oh, it's a targeted attack. Are you kidding me? You have that Nebraska football honk, and you ban his Twitter account the day before the season begins?
Fred with a out of context tweet. I do not like the clap.
Is that what he just said?
Flaky Jake says Josh causes too much controversy and only likes football. Keep him banned.
Whoa. I don't know about that. I mean, he only just influenced the celebration of one Nebraska football player that one time.
That's wrong. Let's do Josh right. And then maybe, because this would have been great. We're in a house together, and while we're looking at each other's phone, we could have followed each other.
Oh, I was going to say, you should definitely, in the Kansas City house, you should say, hey, Josh, can you see my tweet? Josh, I just put out a banger of a tweet. Josh, can you see this? Josh, look how funny this tweet is, Josh.
Yeah.
Do I have to show it to you? Oh, wait, it's banned? Oh, my bad.
Jay Moore's coming up at about 8:30. John Walker stops by, and also Brandon Vogel on the Wednesday before the start of the season, before we get to watch Texas and Ohio State, Clemson and LSU, Notre Dame and Miami. Joey, you getting hussed? Alabama, Florida State, Auburn, Baylor, Boise State, South Florida, South Carolina, Virginia Tech. We have a doubleheader on Sunday, by the way.
Yeah, we do.
Georgia Tech, Colorado. TCU, North Carolina on Monday night. We'll get to see Bill and Jordan. That'll be nice. Utah, UCLA. Syracuse, Tennessee. Tennessee's a 2-touchdown favorite in that game. That's kind of interesting. And then you have Nebraska and Cincinnati.
Utah, UCLA. That's a sneaky good
It's in my top 10.
10 p.m. Fox game.
So Nebraska. Jesus.
Hey,
Pac-12.
Joey.
Hey, where were you where were you when I was a kid and I wanted my parents to subscribe to TV Guide? You could have just been living at my house. Hey, what time is? And I just point at you and you go 6 p.m. on CBS.
I literally
Murder, She Wrote.
I literally have the CBS Sports app just for that qualification. Where is Tulane versus Northwestern on your favorite games?
It's one of the 91 college football games this weekend.
It's one of the games this weekend. What is that on, Joey?
ESPNU at 11 a.m.
Thank you. That's wild.
I think you're in the wrong business, Joey.
You are totally in the wrong business.
What about doing Movie Phone?
Movie Phone.
What's Movie Phone?
Not heard of
Seinfeld.
My bad.
Look it up during the break.
Are you good at 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon?
No.
Okay.
Chris says he might be onto something here. He has $20 saying that Hawkeye Chronicles, old Casey, where you at, my man, is behind this. 100% serious. He does things like this to other media. Is he back? Did he get his account back, or is he now what one he is using?
I can look.
You ever had in contact with him?
I've followed him, and I got he often triggered me, if I'm being honest, on Twitter. But I've never after
he's one of the rare people that we're gonna have a fight. We're gonna meet somewhere. Not me, not me, but somebody I used to be involved with. Well, still involved with them, but they used to sit next to me. We were gonna go fight.
Really?
Yeah, him and the Penguin guy.
We're gonna throw.
Why is it people that have Chronicles in their Twitter are like the pain in the asses? Hawkeye Chronicles and Penguin Chronicles. All right, where are you at? But Chris might be onto something here. Let's go, Josh.
I never told you this. I had Matt McMedia was not my first Twitter account. There was another Twitter account that I've deleted because if you went back into the 2015, 2016, 2017 archives, there was a lot of me getting at White Sox Twitter. Like I had what Hawkeye Chronicles is to Nebraska Twitter, I was to White Sox Twitter. I was an absolute menace. Like I was all over it, and then I became older, and I go, you know what? I should probably erase all this. This probably isn't good for my employer. My hate on Yohan Moncada definitely has taken a step toward unemployment, so I'm just gonna stop.
Hey, good job, KG, man. He said, I've known Casey for years. LOL. Haven't we all? If you were on your old Twitter account, you would have gone after the White Sox bullpen last night. Good comeback by the Royals. They were down, and they scored 4 in the 8th, went on to win that game. So good win for them last night. When we come back, more on Taylor and Travis.
We barely talked about them.
We need to talk more about them.
Okay.
Are they going to the game tomorrow night?
Yes, Joey.
So Travis will be there. Jason will be there. The Bussin' with the Boys will be there.
She's going to be there. She's got to be there.
She's got to be there.
What do you mean she's got to be there?
She's got to be there. They just
it's like
they just announced they're getting married. ESPN is going to be there. It's Travis's college team. It's a massive. She has to be there. There's no way she isn't there. Is she going to be there? Gary, you know.
ESPN's
you're making that look like.
I know?
Gary, you're making that.
I know?
Because you've got sources everywhere.
She does love Nebraska. You know, her Red Tour, she kicked off in Omaha. She was actually in Omaha for a week before that tour started, rehearsing, and was like in disguise hanging out in downtown Omaha. So she likes Omaha. That was back when she was doing arena shows and she was at the Chai. I mean, and she was a little bit younger. Yeah, she likes Nebraska. Maybe she'll be there. But we don't need her to be there. Okay? The football is the focus.
What
okay,
if she shows up there
and
a
lot of numbers on?
What if she's wearing a number 20 Nebraska jersey? She's just there, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm go Huskers. I love the Jet."
She's probably going to be wearing a Cincinnati jersey.
You know, what if she's wearing 30?
Travis Kelce jersey.
What if she's wearing 30? Like, you ever heard of this running back? Ever heard of this Heisman Trophy winner?
All right.
What if she's wearing a Tominaga jersey?
I'm maybe gonna throw this out there, and this may be a very inaccurate statement.
Sure, go ahead.
I don't think she's familiar with Keisei's game.
Oh, I don't know about that. Everybody's familiar with Keisei's game.
She's been a little busy during Keisei's rise. She was on tour all over the world. We'll be back with more. It's Gary and Matt with Joey. The day before the Friday games.
You can't do that.
I'm learning from you.
That is ridiculous.
I'm learning from you on 1620 The Zone. Hey, what you can learn if you have the market for a new roof, you got a little roof damage from previous storms, or you're looking to sell your home, or your roof is just a little bit older, there's only one place to go, and that is Moose Roofing. Pat Moose and his crew, they are top-notch. Some in the business would call them 5 stars. They are definitely 5 stars that have remained 5 stars once they get into your home. They sit down with you after you schedule an inspection online at mooseroofing.com. They get to know you, first of all, because, listen, your home is your most valuable asset. That's your quarterback that you must protect. And Moose Roofing is like a great offensive line. They come in to provide protection and success. So they sit down, they get to know you, and then they get on your roof, they get into your attic, they take pictures, video, then they work with your insurance company. The insurance company is like the referee when you're trying to, argue back and forth about a bad spot. Moose Roofing helps you get the correct spot, so it is a first down. And then they go to work. Top-notch communication throughout, and the job you'll be pleased with. And if you're not, they're not going to leave. They're going to be there until you are pleased with the job. They've been in business for nearly 30 years, and their reputation from Western Iowa all the way to Lincoln, top notch. For more information, go to the website and to schedule that inspection to get your roof looked at or fixed, mooseroofing.com. Thank you, John. The group in Lincoln that won the major Powerball, they worked at Smithfield Foods, where they process hams. I bet they are not processing hams anymore after winning the large Powerball about 15 years ago, I think.
I know what I would do if I won the lottery.
And that would be?
I would keep working.
No, you wouldn't.
I would. Here's why. I do want to do this. I do want to do this. I do want to be a broadcaster. but I wouldn't. I do.
You want to have a purpose.
I really
you
do.
Still want to have a purpose.
But here's my thing, though. This is because I'm young and I'm naive. Eventually, I would get to the point of like, all right, like I'm now like 33 or 34, and then I would be like, okay, I'm gonna go to Minnesota on Gold Lake, buy a house, find a wife, and fish until I kick the bucket. You know.
Okay.
That would be it.
I would disappear for a while. I would make sure I had everything in order before it became public.
So if you're
I'd
not
change my phone, my address.
Well, you have to.
People would be going, "Hey, this is we went to school in second grade," and I'm like, "No, I didn't."
I just get like if you win the lottery tonight, you just don't show up to work tomorrow in Kansas City, and then all of a sudden in 6 months, I just get like a phone call from a burner number. Hey,
I'd call into the show. I'd be a caller.
You'd be like, hey, we're 38 days since 182 days ago when I cut contact with you.
Somebody in Nebraska wins the Powerball tonight. How quickly is the NU Foundation on the phone trying to get them to donate money? Now, you could single-handedly take care of Nebraska Stadium project by winning Powerball.
You think Troy Dannon is entering tickets?
John throws in a thing for the most hated team. He says, Missouri. It's always Missouri. Hey, John, Troy Dannon last night on his radio show mentioned that he has reached out to an SEC athletic director to possibly play a home and home. What if it is Missouri? By the way, maybe keep that on the down low. I like that there might be an adjustment because of college football has changed and everybody's playing 9, or the 2 conferences that matter are playing 9, and maybe strength of schedule, playing a sexy game in the non-con gives you a little bump. It's okay to adjust. Just know that if Nebraska reschedules a nice Power 4 type matchup, you're going to take a beating.
Oh,
okay, you just got to live with it.
Sure.
Got to live with it. But you're adjusting. I thought that was kind of interesting that he dropped that little nugget last night.
I want to throw this out there. Auburn doesn't have a power opponent scheduled after 2030. Ole Miss does have a lot of power scheduled opponents, but they don't have one in 2031, which is a weird year that Nebraska doesn't have one scheduled that's sandwiched in between the Oklahoma and the Cincinnati home game.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be one. LSU doesn't have a power opponent scheduled after 2032, and Georgia doesn't have one scheduled after 2035. I went down the rabbit hole and I just picked all the SEC teams that I would maybe want to go and see. So that's what we're working with. I would love an away Ole Miss game in 2031. Take me to the Grove, baby.
Yeah. Well, hey, I that's why I was so excited about Knoxville. Chance to go somewhere you don't normally go.
Yeah.
Fans can experience that. And then we got the MAC. MAC coming
Why
to
are you
Lincoln.
saying that so disappointingly? Bowling Green is a great team.
You just lost a lot more credibility.
Northern Illinois is they're studs.
I've seen enough of Northern Illinois.
Nebraska a few years ago.
They did beat Notre Dame. People forget. Northern Illinois.
Thomas
Thomas
Hammock's a good coach. He's a good person. But I don't need to see Tanner Lee throw another pick 6. Okay, I watch that in person. Or I hope he's listening. Ken Kanger celebrate Northern Illinois beating Nebraska. It won't be. So I think tomorrow night's going to be super successful for everybody that's involved in Kansas City. They've got to hit the right team because they want to do this every year. They've got to hit the right team that has pull.
Mm-hmm.
Even I think if Nebraska played in Indianapolis, you'd still have 20,000 Nebraska fans at least, because it's the opening game. It's a holiday weekend. People will make a destination to go to Indianapolis. It's not very far. You still have a lot of Nebraska alums that are in that area. I wouldn't be surprised if the organizers with the Chiefs and other people that are behind this game try and convince Nebraska every 5 years to play in this game. If they set up a non-con opponent that is good for TV, that if Nebraska, they will push it on Nebraska. I don't know if Nebraska would accept, because you were going through the schedule and some of their openings, but maybe down the road of, hey, we had a great time in Kansas City. Your fans loved it. We'd love to have you back. And I personally think, and this goes for Creighton, Omaha, and Nebraska, I think your sports teams should appear in Kansas City at least once a year. I don't care if it's volleyball, men's, women's basketball, baseball, softball, football, whatever. That last team would be tough for 2 of the schools, but I think Kansas City is ripe for the 3 D1s in this state. And listen, when Nebraska was in the Big 8/Big 12, Kansas City was a Nebraska town.
Yeah.
Okay. There was black and gold there. There was KU. There was K-State. But Nebraska had such a big following in Kansas City. And I think it's important, to dabble, to drop. Basketball goes down there and plays.
Yeah.
Baseball is played at the K. Baseball goes to KU and plays. Volleyball, they're going to be there because of the Final Four. But football, every 5 years going to Arrowhead, I don't think that would be a bad thing. Creighton has played at the same tournament that Nebraska has played in basketball. I just think Kansas City's a good spot. I think you should own Interstate 29. Go up and play in Sioux Falls once in a while. Go and play in Kansas City more often than not.
Well, the more highly populated metropolitan areas that you can expose your college programs to, I think is always a bonus. Like I thought it was incredibly interesting during the press conferences, them talking about the recruiting aspect of this game, of the impact of, hey, we want to set a Kansas City base. We lost Kansas City in the past. We've done a lot to try and get it back. Now this game is massive. We go ahead and we win in Arrowhead, and we're going to have recruits there, and we're going to have families there and whatnot. Like that can make a massive impact.
Hey, it's only 209 miles.
Yeah. Like I just think it's just the easier the opportunity you have to put yourself in an area that has more people and put your brands out there. Like, why wouldn't you do that? Now, funny enough, I love your idea every 5 years. So 2028, Nebraska plays Arizona. In 29 and 30, they play Oklahoma, and in 2032, they do the comeback with Cincinnati. They go to Memorial Stadium.
What are the chances that game remains in 2032?
I'm gonna say no. Maybe really? You don't think so?
I think they'll find a different game.
Okay. Well, maybe I could see them finding a different game. I just don't think with the new strength of schedule rules, at least with what Dan was talking about yesterday, that they're looking to necessarily just drop it for non-Power 5 non-con games. That 2031, though, they don't have a non-con opponent for 2031. No. That would line up perfectly with your timeline. In 6 years, in 2031, you play a pretty regional, I don't know, throwing it out there. I haven't looked at their schedule, but what if an Oklahoma State, in 2031? That would be a cool little opponent that you haven't played in a while that you can rejuvenate some memories that you've had in the past.
They already scheduled a home-and-home series 2034 and 2035.
With Oklahoma State?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not on the schedule. Why is it not on the schedule?
Go to FB.
Because it's ridiculous that game was scheduled 17 years out.
Okay. That's my bad.
Email here. I would love to say 9 or 10 wins. The past 10 years have beaten some of that positivity out of me. I'd say 7-5 or 8-4, but I'll be doing my Husker Rain Dance and needing my Steve Peterson voodoo doll, trying to win all 10 plus into existence. Here's another thing about tomorrow night. So this isn't even funny anymore. And it's I think it's going to be uncomfortable for Cincinnati fans. The few that are out there that are very excited about Skyline Chili and don't realize the slop that they're eating.
I would love to push back, but I've never had it before.
It's just it's soup. There's way too much cheese.
Well, see, but exactly, I feel like I would love it. Because it's soup.
You're a kid, so yeah, you would.
I'm not a kid.
Yeah.
I'm an adult that likes soup. I enjoy soup.
There's not going to be many Cincinnati fans there, so they're saying 6,000. That would be impressive for 6,000 people to make the trip to Kansas City. But here's the thing. This is all about Nebraska. Because to me, tomorrow night's all about Nebraska. Is you have a thing to do tomorrow night. So there's a huge migration. And and we kind of joked about it. People don't realize it is a friggin' migration over the next 37 hours from this state down Interstate 29. It's 3 hours away. It will look like a Kansas City Chiefs home game tomorrow night and in the parking lot. It'll be nothing but Husker flags, throwing a Chiefs flag. And it'll be like, oh my gosh, I thought the season for the Chiefs didn't start until they played the Eagles on Sunday in a couple of weeks. And people are like, no, it starts tonight. How many times, and I said this earlier in the week about you can only keep going to the well so many times as a fan. You get your hopes up and you get the rug pulled out from under you, or Lucy takes the ball and she goes to Iowa City. The migration of fans that go to a road game that are so built up, and it's going to be loud in there tomorrow night, and they're going to be jacked, They're going to make a lot of noise. They're also going to be very cocky. There'll be a lot of Nebraska fans are going to be super cocky tomorrow night. Okay, they're going to have their chests out. I mean, they're going to walk into the stadium. They're going to walk right through the metal detector. They'll be fully hussed and they'll go beep, beep, beep. And they're like, that's a 9-win fully hussed. Is you cannot afford a groin kick because this is one of the bigger migration games. This is like people will talk about, they always talk about Notre Dame. And I love anytime I go to a friend's house or a stranger's house and I say, let's go to your man cave. And I see the picture of the Sea of Red in South Bend 24 years ago or 25 years ago now. That's what it'll be like tomorrow night. You can't kick them. Like if you win, it's a celebration. If you lose.
So we've talked about it. The Groin Kick Chronicles, right? With Josh Peterson and Jack Mitchell, and they made that series. And we've like how they did it. The stakes in the lead up to the game was a big part of like that equation in terms of ranking where they like if there was a big lead up and there was like a lot of excitement and you were heading into it, like automatically it kind of put you in to like a top 30, top 40 combo of just being regardless of what the result was. That is what this feels like. Like the build up, the anticipation, the migration, going to Kansas City, there are plenty of people who think this is going to be a close game. There are also plenty of people who think that Nebraska is going to win 31-13. Like, and it's one of those things too. And we've kind of talked about it in the past with the whole, like, how much more of it can you take? Like, how many more times can you get beat up? What is going to make you keep going to these games and keep believing in this? This is like
tomorrow night's the fork in the road for that. Because if you get rewarded and you get to celebrate and you're like, hey, I paid a lot of money to come to Kansas City. I can only do this so many times. And you finally see a winning road game with a ton of red in the stands. You're like, Friday night in Minneapolis. Now, hey, Ginger, you want to go to Hollywood? So it's there's a lot on the line with like everybody that is involved tomorrow night in the result and what it does for you. Like, okay, that's what I keep saying. Tomorrow night, just show me this is new. This is not the same. It is something new. You win a game where you got your overwhelming majority of fans are in the crowd. You know what? We can overlook Matt Rule a couple of years ago in Boulder when we went there and took over the stadium and they didn't want to show us on Fox because we had half the stadium. We've taken over the stadium again. ESPN will lean into, even though Big 12 is their school, they will lean into Nebraska being there. You can't lay an egg. You can't lay an egg in this game.
Well, the thing is that tomorrow, if they were to lose on Big Red overreaction, I guarantee you, if they lost, there would be a call that would be like,
Matt Rule's got to stop doing that podcast.
No. Well, there probably would be. Somebody would throw that in there as a jab, but there would be I've given so much to this team. I've given so much to this program. I've paid for these tickets. I'm done. I'm over it. I'm not going to the games. I'm not buying the tickets. I'm sick of it. And part of me.
And I would say, you're absolutely right.
Absolutely right.
Yep.
Absolutely right.
All right. We got to take a break. We'll come back. Jay Moore going to join us at about 8:30. Maybe Jay will be wearing his black shirt.
That'd be cool. Dude, wouldn't that be dope? That'd be so dope to just have in your closet.
I think he has it framed on his wall. Depending on where we're getting him today, he may be at home or he may be at his office. I think he has it framed. But I'm very curious on his thoughts on many things about this season because he's sharing the same optimism and confidence that's flowing out of Lincoln. Don't let us down.
I mean,
that's the phrase that just popped up here on my Twitter.
Don't let us down.
Greg says, "Do not let us down." I can only do so much, Greg. Okay, I can only do so much. I can just go to the game.
You're not lining up in the zero.
Hey, the last thing you want to do is have me play. Now, if I'm playing, that means pretty good things, right?
No, it doesn't.
That would be illegal. I'd be out of eligibility.
Oh, we can figure it out. We can file something to the NCAA. Everybody has eligibility now.
I've always wanted to die on the Arrowhead Field. I get hit one time, and
is that
that's unfortunate. Get him off the field. We got to play. It's 2nd down and 8. Scary and Matt with Joey and 1620 The Zone. All right, tomorrow night, we're what now? Almost 36 hours away?
36 hours and 9 minutes.
Before Nebraska and Cincinnati. Shows, pre, post, all of that kind of stuff tomorrow night from Kansas City. We'll be there. It's wall to wall with 1620 The Zone. People are saying that 1620 The Zone is taking over Kansas City. And I'm like, yeah, more than Travis and Taylor.
No.
They got their announcement out of the way before we showed up. It was cool. Plus, our show will be on a Football Friday Fiesta to kick off week 1. We will be in Kansas City as well. It is a National Rock, Paper, Scissors Day. So what do you guys say? Do you do rock, paper, scissors, shoot, or rock, paper, scissors, says shoot?
What? Says shoot?
Mm-hmm.
No, I do rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Says shoot.
Yep.
I kind of like Rochambeau because he go on the bow.
Think he'll be in the Ryder Cup?
He is in the Ryder Cup. I think he
going to be announced today.
Is he? He automatically qualified? Did he not? Was he the 6th spot?
Does Bryson have his own game?
DeChambeau.
Oh, okay.
DeChambeau. That's a good one. I actually kind of like that. That'd be a great who gets to tee off first type deal on the first tee.
Your go-to on when you says shoot or shoot is what in rock, paper, scissors. This is an amazing place that this game has a national day.
I'm a rock guy. Hit him with a rock. I'm a Dwayne Johnson lover. Just bang, bang, bang.
Rock is the first option. I think it's for almost for a good chunk of people.
Are you the type of guy though that when you play rock, paper, scissors, you say to them, "Hey, I'm going to throw paper," or "I'm going to throw scissors"? Yeah. You do that?
I don't, but I have heard people say that.
I can't stand those types of players. It's just I feel like it ruins the integrity of the game. You know, it just adds another element. We're just rock, paper, scissors.
Bob says I grew up in Texas. He goes, in Texas when I was a kid, it was always beer, rock, paper, scissors.
Beer, rock, paper, scissors.
Good on Bob for growing up, and he inserted beer. I've never done it with beer.
Have you ever heard of rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock?
I have heard that.
That's a Big Bang Theory.
Yes.
Rock beats paper, paper beats rock, scissors beats paper, lizards poison Spock, Spock disintegrates rock, paper covers Spock.
I have heard that. Yes.
I make fun of the Big Bang Theory so much.
Why? There's a Nebraska connection there.
Which is Leonard Hofstadter from Omaha?
No, Haley was from Omaha.
Haley
Coco on the show.
Cool. Oh, I did not know that. Okay, that's
she was a Nebraska fan. She had a Nebraska watch party, and Leonard got to try and learn about football.
And was he not good at learning about football?
That would be.
He did his best.
Yeah, he did.
To fit in.
Yeah, he tried.
This is a known thing. I gotta find this. I did not know about this.
Yeah, I always bring it because like the Zone hates Big Bang Theory and maybe the laugh track was kind of little. But I think I've seen every episode. I mean, Fun with Flags. I mean, just think about it. It's Fun with Flags. But when that's the connection I was bringing up is she was a Nebraskan. Okay, she loved Nebraska football. I couldn't sway people. They're still, that show's terrible. So the show was on the TV for a decade. They made a lot of money. What do you mean it was terrible? And now you can't go anywhere a day without seeing it on some channel.
It'll be on TBS every once in a while.
Well,
Thank you, TV Guide.
When I was... It actually is in the lead. It's the lead-in to AEW Dynamite every Wednesday.
Oh,
on
it is?
TBS. Yeah. So if you ever there's a running joke in the internet wrestling community about how much Big Bang Theory that people have watched because they get to TBS maybe 5 minutes early and then they have to watch it. It's always the lead-in. Season 1 wasn't that bad in the laugh track. Season 1 was pretty damn good at the Big Bang Theory, and I would say season 3 was good too. And then after that, it all went downhill.
All right. When we come back. So I don't think this has been a question that's been posed about the quarterback and his head coach. I will pose that when we come back. And it's a good morning. Season is almost here. We have woken up. NU radio caller. Yeah, baby. Let's see. I want to see who. So he must have lost his account and got it back.
Why is everybody losing their account?
I don't know. Free Josh. But NU Radio Caller is back. My man. We'll see you tomorrow night on Big Red Overreaction. We'll see you after the top of the hour. Dylan and Matt tied together. But the question that I don't think has been asked, or maybe it's already been answered, we'll discuss when we come back on Gary and Matt with the King Joey in house on 1620 The Zone. All right, Jay Moore coming up in 30 minutes. We will not get Jay in his beautiful office or at home. He'll join us by phone, but we'll press him on the defensive line. And also, I convince him that the Jacks are back.
The Jack linebackers are back. They need to be back. They lost a lot of them.
I mean, which defensive position on the Nebraska black shirt defense will account for the most sacks? We'll pose that question to a black shirt coming up in 30 minutes.
By the way, we are going to Kansas City today. We will be there tomorrow. And tomorrow we will conclude Red Out Week. Red Out Week is on 1620 The Zone. It's presented by Union Bank and Trust. Feel good about where you bank. Member FDIC. Red Out Week will end with our 4 to 7 p.m. roundtable tomorrow.
Isn't it amazing, the announcement yesterday that was breaking news? We all got breaking news alerts. I think if you were going to propose yesterday, maybe at dinner last night, you probably said, maybe I should wait a day. Major League Baseball and their 2026 schedule drop probably should have waited a day because when that dropped in the morning, it took over. How intense do you guys think that the non-disclosure agreement from the florist to the photographer was? Because he proposed right after they did the New Heights podcast. So they've been engaged for like 2 weeks and they've kept it this quiet. But think about the NDA that the photographer, anybody surrounding them, and the florist, because it was what, $38,000 in flowers.
Oh my
like
God!
The ring is
beautiful.
The ring looks like you can see an angry bird in there. I don't know. I just looked at it really close, but she had a really nice watch. But the NDA that they had to sign to not say anything, because that's wild. They kept that quiet for 2 weeks.
I can't believe TMZ never got a leak or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty impressive.
It's incredibly impressive. Yeah, your tweet. First off,
I was told to stick to sports. I thought it was kind of funny.
I texted you a great text, and I thought I would have gotten a thumbs up or a heart. It was a phenomenal text by me.
What was that text?
I texted you, "It's a love story, baby. Just say yes," in all caps.
Oh,
I thought it was a Hall of Fame.
I thought you were talking about the other relationship that we were talking about that involves two college athletes.
Man, that would be my Taylor and Trav. If I still don't think it's real, but we'll find out if it is in the future. Yeah. But no, it's funny to me that you thought that I was still texting about that, which is hysterical. I loved your tweet though. The watch, it is a nice watch. It's classy. Women's watches are definitely in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say this. I think the NFL, and stick with me here. Stick with me, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I think the NFL headquarters yesterday took the biggest sigh of relief, maybe like when they got engaged, because I don't think people understand how detrimental it might have been to Travis Kelce, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the NFL if it was a bad breakup. If it was a terrible breakup, and Travis, and I don't think he would ever do this, but if he ever treated her wrong or cheated on her, or did like she went through another heart-crushing breakup like she's went through, and she did another album, the amount of women who became in love with the Kansas City Chiefs and who started watching football and buying merchandise and whatnot, and all the boost that she gave the NFL, it would immediately have deteriorated. I know you're looking at the guarantee board.
Yeah, because Odson said that they would break up. Well, now they're getting married, and I'm happy for them.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be one of those people that go on Twitter and go, "Why should I care?" I don't know why you do that. Okay, can you not be happy for people that are happy? But Odson said they would break up, so I can't wait till he comes in here today.
He admitted his mistakes when it first happened.
Okay, yeah, it happened. I think it was scheduled at noon for that announcement.
But I'm looking up there.
You have one up there.
What is the Jordy Ball one? Because Jordy Ball is slated to throw out the first pitch at the Royals game Friday night.
Jordy Ball will be better in 2026, Gary.
Oh,
that's yours.
Yes, she will. Yes, she will.
That is your prediction. Okay. I think you have one up there that also says Taylor and Trav will get married in 2024. That's somewhere up there.
It says below Josh's guarantee engaged in 24.
Yes, okay, that was. Yeah.
So you were 1 year off. You were 1 year off. Other guarantees up on the board. Now, here's the thing: the Carson Beck to Miami thing, that was BS. That was written on the day that Carson Beck entered the transfer portal, and there was already like a scoop that came out that he was going to Miami. That doesn't count. I have Indiana will make the college football playoff in 2025.
You also owe me $100.
I don't owe you $100.
I'm not sure why you owe me $100, but that sounds great.
You don't remember why I owe you $100?
No,
because I said inappropriate word on this radio station.
Notre Dame would get shut out.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, yeah, I remember it happened on a crossover.
I did say that, but that's not the reason why the fine occurred. The fine occurred because I said another word that described your stomach that begins with a T.
Oh, yeah.
I said that word.
Okay. I do have a Venmo account because
I'm not going to give you $100.
I had a Venmo fantasy football yesterday. So $100, please.
No.
I'd appreciate it. Here's the thing about those two getting engaged, and I'm very happy for him. And he's my tight end, and that's our last ride with 87. It's now not a big deal. I know they're going to have the wedding of the century, and it's going to be covered like the Royals wedding, not the Kansas City Royals. But think about your friends. Like, you're all excited when they start dating, And then the relationship grows and you get really, really excited because you're anticipating the day that they're going to pop the question. But then it's kind of like, oh, okay. And you move on to the wedding. I'm more excited for my friends leading up to the engagement than I am from the engagement to the wedding.
Great point.
So, I mean, now what do we have to look forward to?
I was going to say this because the wedding, I think, like everyone was like, oh, is there a more popular engagement than what happened yesterday? I can't really think of one off the top of my head. Maybe Markle and Prince Harry is the only other one I could think of. I was like, oh my God, Prince Harry is finally
Well, look at it this way.
Engaged.
This was an alert on almost every app that I follow.
I got a Schefter tweet from it.
Yeah. So what celebrities, because we all love celebrity relationships. I mean, we live and die for them. Which celebrities would garner a breaking news tweet?
Oh,
just shows you how, I mean, how powerful they are. And
if J-Lo got engaged again, that would
with Ben Affleck.
Yeah, that would be. Thank you, Joey.
Another one.
If that happened again, that would be breaking. That would be breaking. If she got engaged again and to Ben Affleck amongst all people, that would be breaking.
I mean, it wouldn't.
That would be incredible.
It wouldn't be surprising. It would just be more of a shaking my head feeling.
Dave Portnoy got engaged. Re-engaged.
Okay.
Because he's already, I think that would garner not to the level of Taylor Swift. I'm not saying that none of them are to the level of Taylor Swift.
I think he did it for the publicity.
Michigan fan engaged.
Yeah. Who did it for the publicity?
Portnoy.
Did what?
Got engaged and then got unengaged.
No.
He's been married one time already, right?
Yeah. They're separated.
Hey, it's all about publicity, man. That was great publicity for Fox.
People are talking about
Dave
him. Portnoy does a lot of things, and I don't agree with a decent amount of what Dave Portnoy does and what Dave Portnoy says.
Well, it appears that Ohio State and the Big Ten does not agree as well. So they're right there with you.
The only thing I agree with him is the Boston Celtics stuff.
Sure.
That's my only
Boston Celtic fan today.
I like the hat, and King Joey was in the chair, and I wanted to honor him, so I wore the Boston Celtic hat today.
I appreciate that.
And I haven't worn this one. It's a nice one.
You've given up on the Bulls already, and the season hadn't even started.
I have not given up on the Bulls.
It's going to be kind of cool to go to Derrick Rose's retirement ceremony.
I
but
ain't going to that.
It'd be tough for you to wear a Boston Celtics hat to walk into the UC.
I'm not. No, I'm honoring King Joey. Because King Joey's I wish I was a Celtics fan. It would be awesome being a Celtics fan. Dave Portnoy does a lot of things. I'll tell you this right now. Dave Portnoy ain't a liar. He's always kind of made it very clear that he goes out and he tells the truth. And he said yesterday on his Instagram, that they banned him, that they straight up were like, Ohio State was like, we don't want your college football show here, and they don't want the Barstool college football show there, and they didn't want him in the stadium. Him saying that, I believe him, because that's just kind of been his MO.
I believe Fox did a good job of creating this drama. I don't think it's Ohio State drama. I think it's Fox drama. And Ohio State was like, okay, we're cool. All right, the other marriage that is going to go on, that now we've made it to year number 2. Sometimes that year number 1 is a little bit rocky in a marriage. You'll find out. Once you get through year 1, they're usually like, okay, all right. You're used to living with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Your backgrounds are different. Then all of a sudden you're together and you're in the spotlight. And so Matt and Dylan in their marriage last year, we made it through. We got off to a good start. And then we had a little bit of a rocky last couple of months.
Yeah.
But we had some positivity around the Christmas time, and we rekindled our love for each other. And now we begin the second year of our marriage with the head coach and the quarterback. I was thinking about this, looking at the roster, listening to Dane Key the other day. Before a star quarterback gets on your campus, they peer recruit, right? And we go, yes.
Yeah.
Trey Taylor. Don't sleep.
Yeah.
Okay. Contact more recruits. And we love peer recruiting. And Trey Taylor may turn out to be the best peer recruiter that Nebraska football has ever had. Who should have more control over the roster? Dylan Raiola or Matt Rule? I'm paying Dylan Raiola a lot of money, right? I made him a captain. I have a lot of trust in him. You want a supporting cast.
Yeah.
He's well connected. People are attracted to him. They want to come play with him. Who should have more? And this isn't just a Nebraska thing.
Sure.
This is like a quarterback thing in college football now. It's free agency. You have a high-paid quarterback. let that quarterback go out and try and convince the free agent to come and play, and then you finish the deal. So it's not just a Nebraska thing. I think this is if I'm going to pay a guy a lot of money, I don't want him to stop peer recruiting when he gets on campus. I need him to peer recruit even more that he is on campus.
This happens in the NFL. Like, this is Jamar Chase wasn't drafted by the Bengals because the Bengals were like, oh my God, we love him. Jamar Chase was drafted by the Bengals because Joe Burrow said, hey, you better go and get this guy because I'm your future quarterback. Devontae Adams doesn't become an Oakland Raider if their newly signed, $45 million quarterback and Derek Carr doesn't say, hey, I want to throw to my Fresno State guy. I think in terms of the offense, I don't think there's any problem with Dylan Raiola saying, hey, Coach Rule, this is the guy. I like this guy. I want you to go and get him. I want you to recruit him. Now, I think it is up to Matt Rule to vet that player and to make sure that player fits within their culture, fits within their trying to do, doesn't have a bad rap or anything like that. But I think that Dylan's suggestions 1,000,000% should be taken into account. And it should if Dylan Raiola has a guy that he's best friends with, that's an offensive lineman that he used to play with in Buford or anything like that, and he tells me, hey, he's a former 4-star, he was at this school, great guy, I want you to bring him in, I'm calling him right away. I'm saying, hey, okay, Dylan likes you, we like you, I want to keep my apparently allegedly $3 million quarterback happy. We need to add some depth to the offensive line. Come here. Now, if the vetting process goes through and you find out the guy is a bad nut for whatever reason, or he doesn't fit your culture, or he's too expensive, Matt Rule has to have lack of a better phrase, has to have a spine and say, hey, Dylan, no, like this isn't good. This is not good for Nebraska. This is not collectively good.
Has there been a guy, we went through an offseason where David Sanders, Nebraska pursued him.
Yeah.
Dylan like courted him. And at the end of the day, he became too expensive for Nebraska. And we'll see, Sanders is on a lot of top 15 or top 10 freshmen to watch. I guess I haven't followed enough of offseason or camp Tennessee to see if he's going to start.
They think he's going to be the guy.
He's going to start against Syracuse. Yeah. So, and Isaiah World, he had a little bit of dabbling with Rocco. I remember interviewing Rocco on the Average Joe Sports Show, and he said Dylan was like one of the first people that he talked to before he got into the nuts and bolts. I think it's another part of NFL Light is let your quarterback, because it's an 11-man game, but if you're going to invest money in a quarterback, you're not going to waste that money. Why not let that quarterback have a voice on your roster? And I'm looking at the pieces around him. They kind of either, without him saying, hey, yeah, get that guy.
Sure.
They've set him up for more success, but like a Dane Key doesn't come here without Dylan.
No.
I mean, I wonder if moving forward, the quarterback at Nebraska, if they continue to peer recruit once they get on campus, because I think that's a lost art now in the days of NIL and paying guys money, and just pure out college football free agency.
Well, you talk like it was a funny comparison, right? Like they're engaged, they're married. Matt Rule is married to Dylan Raiola, and it's funny, but
because if they get divorced, it's going to be sad. We're going to have to choose sides.
And if it's going to get,
we're going to follow one guy to Texas A&M and one guy still is at Nebraska.
Yeah. But
okay, Miami,
but in a way, right? What is the number one saying when you're in a relationship? Happy wife, happy life, right? Happy Dylan, you're winning. Okay. I can't really come up with a rhyme that matches that. But if I can bring in a guy that my quarterback likes, that is going to make him happy, that's going to have his morale high, that's going to improve his attitude toward the game, I'd much rather have that guy in my huddle playing for my team as opposed to maybe a guy who is slightly better that doesn't have that positive effect. Because as we've learned from the former players, and Lisa, I've learned this from the former players that we've interviewed on the show, talent is great, right? How many scars you have is great. How fast you are is great. Measurables are great. But the difference between being an 8-win team and being a national champion, or being a good team and being a great team, is loving each other and having that chemistry and having that culture, which is, I think, the biggest reason as to why we have so much optimism when it comes to Nebraska football, because it actually seems like they're building a culture.
Mm-hmm.
which I don't think you could have said that about the past regimes that have been here.
All right, Jay Moore is going to join us here in about 15, 20 minutes. John Walker will stop by. Lots of stuff going on. Some interesting Creighton basketball chatter that we will get into with J-Dub. And then Brandon Vogel, who is already coward.
Whoa.
8-4 guy.
That's not a coward pick.
It now is. It's become a coward pick. The Josh Pates of the world have made 8-4 around here a coward pick.
I agree.
Have some guts.
I agree. Well, what's the guts? The guts is you look at the film, you look at the writing, you know what you know. It's not group
7, 9, 10, or 11. Let's go.
8-4 is the correct way to go. If you're looking at this team,
8-4 is already full. That section full.
I got on it 6 weeks ago, so I've been there. I've been at the front of the train. This isn't Snowpiercer. I'm not in the back trying to fight my way to the front. Great movie, Chris Evans.
Well, tell you what I think is going to happen this season. Tomorrow.
You can't tease me like that.
You probably, with my tone, you probably know where I'm going.
I know. I think I would like to think I know. I would like to think I know.
Suspense. This is Gary and Matt with Joey in the house. Why? Love the artist, love the song. Why, Joey?
I mean, this is. I don't know when I'm filling in again, so I got to play this for you.
Oh, let's go. Nice tribute to the Vikings, which you both can agree on are the best team in the North.
They suck.
It's Gary and Matt with Joey on 1620 The Zone.
Husker football is staring us right in the face. Tomorrow, they will take on the Cincinnati Bearcats at 8 o'clock. But fall is just around the corner, and 1620 The Zone is giving you the chance to win a season pass to Nebraska's favorite fall attraction, Vala's Pumpkin Patch. You can win 2 2025 season passes to Vala's and enjoy all the fall family fun that Vala's has to offer. Enter right now at 1620thezone.com.
All right. Jay Moore coming up here in a little bit. Good choice of music today, Joey. Nebraska's going to try and do something tomorrow night. First of all, Cincinnati's going to try and for the third straight year start 1-0. Remember they started hot last year? They were 5-2. And then all of a sudden, they got to play against Jeff Sims last year.
That was the last game that they won, I think, against Arizona State.
But Cincinnati's trying to go 1-0 for the third straight year. This is the crazy thing about recent time with Nebraska football. There was a time, young man, kind of before you were born. And then when you were born, but you had no idea where Nebraska was.
No, not really.
The Nebraska never lost a season opener until Mike Riley was on the sidelines, and there was a Mormon Hail Mary in Memorial Stadium. And that ended Nebraska's 29-game winning streak in openers. Yeah, you know what? I wonder what Mitch Matthews is doing these days. Anybody know?
No idea.
No.
Checked on him?
No clue.
Nebraska's going to try and do something tomorrow night. Win a football game to begin a year. It would be only the second time in 6 years that they have started 1-0. The previous, last year. Twice in 6 years, starting 1-0. And we've had streaks from 70 to 98. And then the 29-game winning streak that was snapped against BYU. Yeah.
You know, the funny thing is, too, is that those week one losses in the last 6 years, you could argue, like, week one has been by far the worst week in terms of just how devastating they've been. Like, if we were to do the Groin Kick Chronicles, but we did it, like, on a which week is the best week and which week is the worst week, week one would definitely be in the top three, if not one. I think the last, like, Iowa always seems to give you a nice little, kick in that area. But because the Northwestern game, the onside kick, you'll never forget it. The Illinois game the year before, when you walked in thinking you're going to kick their butts, and Illinois ended up having one of the greatest secondaries of all time that season. Then you have the Minnesota game, which we took a nice stroll down memory lane about that yesterday, which was fun with Matt Rule. And then, even the Ohio State game that, like, in 2020, that you didn't convince yourself after the first touchdown, and you never really convinced yourself that you were going to win it. But it was still kind of cool to, like, be in the game at halftime, and then they end up pulling away. And you're like, okay, I guess this is like what we actually expected. Like, it's a tough week. It's been the toughest week probably in 6 years.
Rule, you're on the clock. That's just only twice in the last 6 years to start 1-0.
It was the UTEP game, and then which one am I forgetting?
It was the UTEP game.
Oh, just once in the last 6 years.
You're trying to start 1-0 for the second time.
The second time. I thought you said they did it twice.
By the way, going back and looking at the front page of the World Herald, the Sunday morning after BYU, the front page picture of the fans that are in the front row behind that end zone. Oh, I want to meet this gentleman. He was like, he's like this. And then there are two little kids that are like, I want to know where they're at. But Chattel wrote in his column, this was the headline, and writers don't do the headline, but plenty to fix for Riley's crew, but also much to build on. Yeah. Well, maybe we should have like Dirk and Lee and Tom and guys on that. Let's revisit one of your columns.
Oh, that would be.
And did it age well?
That would be a great segment.
We do that on Way Back Wednesday.
I would love to do that. Dirk wrote an incredible column after the 2021 Northwestern game where Nebraska kicked the crap out of Wildcats. He wrote a beautiful, like, this is what it's supposed to be. This is what it's supposed to look
Were you
like.
sad that day?
No, I wasn't. I go to Nebraska. I went to Nebraska. I was going to Nebraska at the time. I was not sad.
All right. Jay Moore is going to join us next. One word answer, because we'll pose this question to him. Defensive line in 2025, they lost a lot of guys. They lost their DC. They lost their position coach. Same, better, or worse? You only get those three choices. Same, better, or worse, Nebraska's defensive line in 25 compared to 24?
Better.
I would say same.
Okay. We'll see what Jay Moore says. He'll join us next on 1620 The Zone. All right, our next guest, who does not age, looks great. Big Red wrap-up last night. He was back with Damon and Michael, and now he is back with us. That means the season is officially underway. The pride of Elkhorn, the black shirt. Jay Moore joins us. Good morning. Welcome to the season.
Morning, fellas. How we doing?
Good. How are you doing? Well, I hope you're performing safe sell.
Kind of. I'm actually, it's funny, I'm en route to Kansas City, the Kansas City area, but it's not for football. Unfortunately, it's not for the game tomorrow night. I'll be coming back, but no. Head down to play a little golf in the Kansas City area this afternoon and then head back to Lincoln.
Come on. Yeah, I think I know where you're going, and that's a beautiful course. Why wouldn't you just stay?
I got a good buddy with me, and he needs to get back.
Screw him.
So that's I thought of that. We could have drove separately, but it's just not.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now you're usually a very optimistic guy, but you're also kind of a straight shooter. And I know how you're feeling about this year, and I want you to describe why. But you are optimistic. You, as a former player, listening and watching actions, you know that they have a confidence. Why are you optimistic and confident that this is the year that it finally pops?
I mean, I'm high on Coach Rhule. Obviously, his year 3 is going in at Baylor and Temple. It's different than those two players. The talent he's acquired is one of them. I think the coaches.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Okay. Joey, reconnect with Jay. Let's see if we get a better connection. Anybody want to guess what portion of 29 he is currently on that you do not have good cell service?
I don't. Okay.
He might be south of Plattsmouth before you get to Nebraska City, that little stretch of 29.
I don't. My thing is that I've never been to Kansas City, so this is a terrible question for me in terms of where would you cut out?
In your world, Kansas City is below Nebraska.
Yes, it is below. It is below Nebraska. It is below Nebraska. It's under Nebraska. Is it not?
When he says that, but we're going south today.
I say let's go over and under. Hey, Matt McSportsbook. Everything is in the terms of overs and unders and spreads.
We're getting reconnected here with Jay. I apologize, but people that have driven that stretch, there are little pockets where you happen to be a T-Mobile customer,
like maybe in between Omaha and St. Joe's. Do you get badception there?
It's usually south of the strip club in Glenwood to Nebraska City. All right, we've reconnected with Jay. Sorry about that. That's probably on our end, but you were, yeah.
We're kind of in south. We're kind of in the boonies in South Nebraska right now, going up and down Highway 75. So,
hey, shout out Brownville.
So, yeah. Oh, geez, it never fails that we have literally a semi just blew his tire right in front of us. That's always a good sign.
2 hands on the wheel, 10-2, Jay. You're a good driver.
Yeah.
Go ahead and finish your question. Right? Yeah, about optimism.
Yeah, I think there's a lot. I think with Coach Rhule, the staff that he's acquired, I love Dana Holgerson finally having a full year. I think Mike Eckler, having him on special teams, that's going to be, special teams has been a liability for so long that I finally feel like now it's going to be a strength of this football team. And I mean, to be honest, these close losses we've had, the last 5, 6, 7, call it a decade, has become a sport special team or poor special teams play. But I think you look at just what's going to be on the field, those 11 guys on offense or defense. I mean, it's going to start with Dylan in his year 2 with Holgerson, but I love the fact that this offensive line is now a strength of the team as well. One of the deep had in a long, long time. I mean, you look at the depth chart that's come out, and there's a lot of oars, and I'm okay with that. You look at, Teddy Prohaska is persevered through a ton, and he's got his name at the top of the list. The Pritchett from Alabama, he's going to play, but he's not there yet. So I think he's a talented individual, but the fact that he's not a day one starter, I think says a lot about the talent that's at the offensive line position, especially at the tackle. Rocco Spindler, love Justin Evans at center now. I think that's a great spot for him. Latovsky, Gatula, you go down Knack. Like, there's a lot of guys who play a lot of football on the offensive line, and that's just where it starts. Win a lot of football games, so there's optimism there. And then defensively, I think there's a lot I think D-line there's talent. There's plenty of talent now. As experienced as Nash and Ty were, no, but I think they're young. I think they get more athletic, and I think they got the right guys. But they're going to have their help around them. The guys they brought in from the portal, McCullough, Watson, Trent, the guys in the secondary. It's going to be fun to see John Butler. What he's going to put out there. I don't know what we all know. He's going to run a 3-3-5, but it's the same 3-3-5 that Tony White had implemented for the last couple of years. It's probably going to look a little different in multiple. So I think for all those reasons, there's definitely 10 reasons why I'm very optimistic that this team can get going in the right direction tomorrow night.
Jay, you were a longtime starter on the defensive end for Nebraska's defense and on the defensive line. And, you got guys here on the D-line this season that have played football, but they've never been the guy. They've never been the dude. And some of them are going to be making their very first start. It's going to be the first moment for them where, all right, hey, when it comes to the trenches, it's all going to rely on you. Can you take us back to your first start? Do you remember just how that was, maybe the nerves you had, the attitude you had going into the game, and how you handled that?
Yeah, I mean, I remember my first game playing my sophomore year. I didn't start, but I remember it. But my first start, a couple games later in my sophomore year, I felt exactly the same from my first start to my last start, my senior year. I was always a guy who got very nervous. Took me usually a series to calm down a little bit and kind of trust what my eyes were seeing. And but yeah, it can be a little overwhelming for those guys, but I know they're going to be prepared the right way. And these guys, at least Keona Davis, Judy, Van Poppel. It's not like the first time they're thrown out there and they're playing. They've meetings before. So I don't think they're going to be, the lights are going to be too bright for them tomorrow night. But yeah, it means a little more when you're finally starting and you're thrown in that mix. But I don't think there's going to be a huge drop off from what we saw last year with this D-line group. I think Tim Lenhart's is in for a big year. I'm really excited to see what Noweri is able to do. I'm kind of unsure. He has all the physical traits, the ability to be a Sunday guy. And be a guy that's drafted very high, but he has to mature and do the necessary things off the field to get himself there. And apparently he's done that and got himself in a good position. But yeah, there's going to be some nerves, there's going to be some excitement, and that's the beauty of it. And you prepare the right way. And I'm finally, we're going to see what these guys can do and get them unleashed. And you got to be disciplined. Sorsby is going to try to test them in the QB run game. So they got to, trust their eyes, play with good techniques, good pad level, hand placement. They can't get themselves out of position and get too excited because otherwise that QB run game can hurt them. But yeah, this group is going to be fun to watch. A very, very athletic, you want to call it a front four, front five in this 3-3-5 defense.
So let's stick with those guys up front because they're going to get a lot of attention. And I think it's a great opener because I think Cincinnati will try and run the ball like a Big Ten offensive mind will do. They got Walker and Pryor in the backfield. Sorsby is a big guy at 6'3", 235. They're going to try and get downhill and test that defensive line early. So stopping the run is one thing, but we always say, hey, man, which guys are going to get sacks? They're going to blitz. Is there going to be an edge guy? Is it going to be the jack guy? Please tell me, Jay, that you're confident enough that the one thing that I think has hurt that position is not, hey, can you get home and get sacks? What about containing? Are these guys athletic enough and smart enough in this defense that they'll be able to contain anybody getting outside of them, which we've seen in the past few years? There's been busts, and the next thing you know, a guy's hitting his head on the goalpost.
Yeah, I mean, that's communication, and that's just it just doesn't happen. You gotta practice it. You gotta work it. You gotta be able to play off of each other on the D line. That's McCullough, McGahee, those guys that are gonna be on the with Cam Lenhart, Riley Van Poppel. Those guys, you gotta know who has outside contain, who can take chances on the inside, who can do counters, who can do certain things to funnel a quarterback in a certain way. but no, I think the athletic ability of this, you want to call it the front five, counting the outside linebackers in that group, the Jacks. I don't have any concerns. I fully expect McCullough to have a great year, McGahee to have a great year. Ochoa, you kind of forget about him. Now his name's been thrown out there and had a great bowl game against Boston College. His ability to rush the passer. And then to get some pressure from those interior guys that, Keanu Davis and Noweri and Judy and Ben Popple and Lenhart. They got plenty of weapons there to utilize. And I think it's going to be rather unique because I think the secondary is so experienced that I think you can bring some pressure and do some other things that because they're going to be really good in the back end. I feel like so it's going to be fun to watch. And but like again, you have to communicate up there and pre-snap. You got to tell each other, hey, give a heads up. I've been getting overset by this guy. I'm gonna take him inside. So if you see me come inside, you got to cover me on the out just in case I flush him out. So it's just little things like that. But I'm pretty confident that the new D-line coach of the Chiefs, he's a fantastic coach. Those things have been communicated, and I have really high hopes for this young and rather inexperienced D-line.
Talking about the secondary here, I've said it, but I haven't been out there like you've been out there, playing football. How big of an advantage is it to have three guys in Hartzog, Singleton, and Buford who not only are just experienced but have played plenty of football together? For the entirety of the defense, how important is that continuity?
It's very important. Secondary is difficult. You're on an island. When you make a mistake, people automatically think it's your fault.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times when an out route's caught for a 4-yard gain, 5-yard gain, people are losing their minds sometimes. But realistically, you got to know that's a good play. You get them down, you keep them to a 4 or 5-yard gain. But yeah, the biggest thing is communicating. That's football. That's defensive football in a nutshell, is communicating and also seeing the same things. And if you recognize things and can call it the same way every time, and you understand route trees and route concepts and, how you passing things off, man, the game becomes really fun and really simple. And then, that buys some more time for your young D-line to get to the quarterback. But, having those guys back, you throw Andrew Marshall now in the mix, has played a bunch of high-quality football. And then the best thing about it is you have a lot of young guys behind them, the Caleb Bennings, the Donovan Jones. There's a lot of young guys that can learn from these older players, the Bufords and the Singletons and the Hartzogs. But yeah, the biggest thing is communicating. And when you've played so many snaps like these guys have together, man, you almost don't even need to say anything. Yeah. You can almost give them a look, and you know what's coming, and you know how to pass it off, you know how to communicate. And, it can become a thing of beauty.
Hey, you rattled off three of these guys, and I want to go back to the Jack linebacker position. So McCullough, Ochoa, who I'm super high on, and McGahee. Last year, MJ Sherman had that spot, and he was good against the run, but getting to the quarterback, he didn't remind you of Lawrence Taylor, or Derek Thomas. But is that a position that you think, because I look at the size, 235, 240, 240, all about 6'4", 6'5". McGahee is not that tall. But is that a position on this defense that recruits or yourself will look at and go, man, that's the sexy position? Because if I'm going to make headlines, I want to be a Jack linebacker at Nebraska.
Biggest name we've heard in the
Dang it.
Right? Yeah, so you look at those guys. You look at Von Millers, the DeMarcus Wares, guys that played in more stand-up outside linebacker 3-4 type of style defenses. Those guys have made a ton of money. They're Hall of Fame players, and that's what you're trying to implement, and that's what you're trying to build your game off of. I mean, I'd be watching those guys all day on film. Pulling up highlight tapes of those guys to see how they're playing within an outside stand-up position. So yeah, that's a very sexy position, man. It's fun. You can drop in coverage. You can get picks, you can get sacks, you can set the edge, you can get TFLs, you can do everything. I did it for a little bit when I was at the 49ers in a 3-4 defense. It took me a while to learn the spot, but once you know it, man, it's a fun position to have. It's a fun position to utilize because you can do everything. And once you know the game, you can set yourself up for success every snap because you can move around. You can really dictate how protections are utilized against you. You can see more because you're up. So yeah, that's a sexy position. And I know if I'm a recruit and I'm saying, hey, we want you to play the jack, you're like, ooh, I can make I can do some damage out there because of the ability to be multiple and the ability to be moved around within the defense and just you can attack it from so many different ways other than putting your hand under the 4-3 defensive end spot. So yeah, that's a fun position. I think Nebraska and Coach Butler are going to do a good job of utilizing it and bring it to the forefront.
Something that I would like to see the Nebraska offense do tomorrow is I would love them to go fast on the first drive. From a defensive player's perspective, how tough is that for the first time you touch grass to start the season? You get out there and all of a sudden the offense is going no huddle. Is that as easy as a way as we think it is to kind of catch the defense off guard in the first game of the year?
That's the first game. You can practice all you want, and you can think you're in the best condition. But until you actually go through a real game, it's always exciting in the first couple series. So you could definitely go up tempo and turn the rev the engine up on them and expose a little bit. Again, it's just you haven't played a game yet. There's been no preseason, right? Mm-hmm. So you can scrimmage all you want, but it's still not the same thing. So yeah, they could. That's not a bad idea to get them off center a little bit. Trust me, I've been there those first games, and you think you're in great shape, but you just don't know because your emotions are so much higher. You're more nervous. You just get tired more easily. So yeah, that'd be a nice little wrinkle to throw in there, Holgorsen, just to go, turbo and get it going and make those Cincinnati and Corleone that we all know about. Make those guys throw them off center a little bit. And I like that. I like that idea. I hope they do that tomorrow night, first series, and see what they got.
All right, we'll get chatter on this as a man that has won many golf tournaments, including a former Lincoln Men's City Golf Championship. How are we shooting this summer?
It's been okay, not good enough. It seems like when I start make some birdies, I like to follow up with a couple bogeys, or like we call them PBFUs. I won't say that acronym out loud, but that's been kind of my forte. But we give it one more go for a U.S. 4-ball qualifier today, and go send it and see what happens, and then really got one more tournament left for the year after that. But it's been good. I'm fortunate enough to play golf and have time and have a wife that lets me go do it. And she understands that I care about it, like to work at it. So there's always something to work on, right? There's always a part of your game that can be better. That's the beauty of the game. So as long as my body holds up, I'll keep trying to do it as long as I can.
All right. Good luck today at Firekeeper.
Appreciate you.
Hey.
Thank you. We'll give them hell.
Hey, that's a great course. Thank you, Jay. We'll talk to you next week.
Yep, sounds good. See you, boys.
Oh. Mayetta, Kansas is where he's headed to the Firekeeper golf course there.
I broke 90 for the first time this year. This is a hell of an accomplishment for me. I think it'll never get higher than that.
What did you do then on holes 10 through 18?
Went to the clubhouse and enjoyed the 19th hole, or at least what I call it the 10th hole.
All right. John Walker is going to join us next. We still got Brandon Vogel to go. Don't forget the entire station tomorrow in Kansas City. We're taking over Kansas City.
They like a small part of it, like a small parking lot part of Kansas City.
I believe that my friends at Union Station are going to blast 1620 The Zone up on the side of Union Station tomorrow. You guys not hearing the same thing?
No, I'm not hearing the same thing at all.
They should be doing.
They're gonna.
Joey.
The people at Union Station are gonna be like, they're clearly in the third hour of a 3-hour roundtable right now.
What are we going
Are they talking about
Hey.
the 8th wide receiver
Hey.
on Nebraska's roster that'll probably play against Akron?
Topic alert. Last hour is upcoming. J Dub will join us next on 1620 The Zone. All right, Red Out Week, brought to you by our good friends at Union Bank and Trust. It's also Pumpkin Spice Latte Week. They're out. It's August 27th. Prepare accordingly. A day away from some ball, y'all, tomorrow night in Kansas City. But before we get there, let's talk a little Creighton Blue Jays as we welcome in our good friend John Walker from the Omaha World Herald, who I believe will be joining us tomorrow night in Kansas City. Is that correct?
Yes, I will be in Kansas City. I couldn't miss an opportunity to return to my stomping grounds. And furthermore, I couldn't miss an opportunity to watch a nationally televised football game with my own eyes. So, yeah, I'll be down in Kansas City on Thursday night.
Hey, what's the deadline for you guys at the OWH tomorrow night?
So, yeah, it's obviously it's an 8 p.m. kickoff, so that creates a little bit of a tricky situation for us. I'll have a story that makes look, you guys are like seeing how the sausage is made, essentially. Oh. I'll have a story that makes it into print tomorrow night, because that game won't end until 11 at least. So I'll have a story that makes it in print. That'll be on the sports front, on the front page our newspaper, we'll have a QR code. We'll have some art, some imagery from our photo staff that's making the trip, and then we'll have all of our coverage, game coverage online that night, and in what that would be then Saturday's paper. So yeah, it'll be a lot. It is kind of prohibitive, the 8 p.m. kickoff, as to what we can and obviously can't get in print. But yeah, that's kind of what it'll look like.
So we don't get a chance to talk a lot about Nebraska football, but that is part of your job at the OWH before Creighton gets really rolling during the wintertime.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
Yeah.
You've talked about this and you've seen them. Your thoughts on 2025 Nebraska football?
Yeah, I think I don't know if I would consider myself drinking the Rule-Aid, but all signs point to this being the best year of the Matt Rhule era thus far. Now, obviously, it's a small sample size, considering this is only year 3, but they've continued that upward trajectory each of the first 2 seasons, and now it feels like they have a program and not just a team. Mm-hmm. That is what Matt Rhule did at Temple. That's what Matt Rhule did at Baylor. And now that's what Matt Rhule has done at Nebraska. And so I think I've talked about it on here, maybe with Jimmy and the guys later one of these nights. Yeah, the like anything less than 8 wins in my mind is kind of like not a failure, but I guess a disappointment. Because all signs point to them being really, really good, or at least having the potential to be really good. The schedule is pretty favorable. You have Dana Holgorsen at offensive coordinator, year 3 of Matt Rhule. The offensive line is one of the deepest that Donovan Raiola has worked with. I think Dana Holgorsen said a couple of weeks ago that they feel really good about their top 8 offensive linemen. That's a good spot to be in. They reloaded with some weapons on the outside for Dylan Raiola. The tight end situation obviously took a big blow with Mac Markway, but you still have Cortez Mills, Ja'Cory Barney, Dane Key, Luke Lindenmeyer, Carter Nelson, right? Like, so there's weapons aplenty. Emmett Johnson is the clear-cut starting running back. So there's weapons around your sophomore quarterback, which is always a good thing. And then the defense is experience-laden, veteran-laden. The secondary is ridiculous. And the defensive line is going to have a little bit to rework, obviously, because of losing so much last year, but they reloaded in some ways too. So I realize I gave a position by position breakdown. I don't know if that's what you asked.
No,
for.
that was good. That was good. I like the program compared to a team. That's a great line. That's a great observation.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing for me is now you're seeing Rhule and the players talking about it being player led, and that the expectations they have from themselves aren't like from the outside. They're not saying these people are saying this, so here's what we have to do. No. They have talked about chasing a college football playoff spot all off season. So that's kind of what I think. That's the expectation. If you're going to talk about it, like, go chase it, go get it. If that's really what you want, go get it, go take it. And so yeah, I don't know if that's in the cards. We'll certainly see, but I think I'm expecting at least 8 wins out of this team. Otherwise, it feels like we just spent a summer spitting hoopla.
My partner has talked about this a lot, but I want to get it on your perspective, because I think you can relate it not just to football, to just sports in general. But if this team ends up being successful and ends up winning games, it's going to be in a territory that they haven't been in a while, that none of these guys have been in terms of being in a Nebraska football jersey and having a great amount of success. Handling success, in your experience of covering sports and covering teams, what is the difficulty of a team going from not being so successful to then finally winning games, and then handling that extra burden, that extra pressure, that extra expectation that comes with being a good team?
Yeah, it's really kind of learned. It's like an odd cheese. It's an acquired taste, really. It's not for everyone.
Sure.
And furthermore, sustaining success is certainly not for everyone. That's for a select few. And I don't think you can get to that point talking about sustaining success until you do this over a few seasons. So in a vacuum, let's say they're a one-loss team or undefeated going to Penn State, right? I don't know where the loss is or whatever, but let's theorize here that Nebraska Penn State in-state college is I don't even know a 7 p.m. nationally televised top 15 game, right? Like that is pressure. That is where you learn about yourself. Not the win against Cincinnati, not the win against, theoretically not the win against Akron, maybe not even the win over Michigan in this hypothesis. No, the road win with the sophomore quarterback in year 3 of a rebuild, and you get that type of opportunity against that type of team in that type of platform. You have to deliver, especially if you're going to be the college football playoff team that you aspire to be. So that would you just, it's an acquired taste. You have to learn to do it. You can't just show up and know how to win. And the same thing would apply for, what success would look like for this season and how the Huskers would handle that along the way.
All right, let's shift to some hoops, some Creighton hoops. He was cleared to throw out the first pitch at the White Sox Twins game the other day, but Owen Freeman has not been cleared to resume basketball activity. Is going to be out for another 6 weeks. The official start of practice is about a month from now. Guys are back; they're working out, but the official is a month away. Something or nothing with the injuries that have kept Owen Freeman off the basketball court this summer.
I think it's more of a nothing. I was genuinely kind of surprised when I don't even know if we want to call it an update or development. Like it's just not. When that came out yesterday, that Owen Freeman was expected to be sidelined another 6 weeks, I just kind of scoffed. I laughed because we've known that since July 16th, when Greg McDermott told us that Owen Freeman, 1, had meniscus surgery, and 2, would be out into late September, possibly early October. And so that was always the timeline. So I was kind of confused as to why that was even news to some people yesterday when that came out, because that is exactly what Greg McDermott said about 6 weeks ago from now. So no, I think the first pitch was a good sign to just see Owen out and about, no crutches, no brace. Again, he's not running up and down a basketball court, stepping out to throw the first pitch, but any activity is good activity when you're in a recovery process like this. So that was encouraging. But what came out yesterday is not a surprise, does not shift my mindset on Owen Freeman, on Creighton whatsoever, because we've known all along, or I guess most of us have known all along, that was the initial timeline for Owen Freeman, was a return in late September / early October.
I look at this team this year, this Creighton team, and they've added a lot of athleticism, a lot of speed, great shooting. And there's nothing prettier than a half-court Greg McDermott offense. But with what they have on this roster, do you expect them to maybe push the pace a little bit more than we've seen in seasons past? To I'm not saying go full D'Antoni 7 seconds or less, but maybe try and get the ball moving toward the basket in a more quicker fashion than we've seen previously.
Yeah, I think so. Last year was kind of the outlier of that. They didn't really have the pieces to run the floor. Doing so requires great depth and more than that, talented quality depth. So So, and they haven't really had that over the last few years. Like, are you know, let's go back a couple seasons ago. Okay, you're going to take Taylor Shireman off the floor for who? You're going to take Ryan Kalkbrenner off the floor for who? You'll take Trey Alexander off the floor for who? It's like you can't take those guys off. You go back to last year, and even 2 years ago, that team got up and down the floor quite a bit. But you go back last year, it's like, okay, you're going to take Stephen Ashworth off for who? No knock on Ty Davis, but you're going to take the you're going to take the fifth-year senior off the floor for a true freshman. Not many programs are going to do that, you know.
Great point.
And then, like, yeah, you're gonna take Ryan Kalkbrenner off the floor for who? You're gonna take the fifth-year senior off the floor for, you know, God bless Fred King, but a guy who's only shown you something in spurts. Like, no, you can't do that, because at the end of the day, you're there to win basketball games. And so I think with the way this roster is constructed, Greg McDermott wants to get back to running the floor. No, it won't be a 7 seconds. They're not gonna hunt shots early in the shot clock just for the sake of more possessions over the course of a game. But they're going to get up and run a little bit. They went and got quality depth, talented depth. Greg McDermott has said throughout the summer he wants to get back to how things were toward the beginning of his tenure at Creighton, where they played more people, more minutes. I went back and looked at a few of those teams. There's a couple that only had like one guy average over 30 minutes. And I'm not sure if that's what'll end up happening when we get to January, February, when we really start to dive into Big East play. But that's kind of where it seems like it's headed, at least early on, is more guys, more minutes, maybe only 1-2 guys who are playing 30 plus. And Greg McDermott and his staff experiment with all the talent that they've brought in this summer, because I think, as we've talked about on here, there's just so much uncertainty. It's like, okay, we have a really talented freshman on the wing in Hudson Greer, but you also brought in Blake Harper. You know, can they coexist? Are there enough minutes for both? Well, then you also have Fedor Zugic and Josh Dix and Austin Swartz. And so there's so many things they can do. There's so many tools in the toolbox. And I think we'll see Greg McDermott and his staff go to work early, if you will.
Wow. A guy that is living in Murray, Kentucky caught a stray from John Walker. I kid. Let me shift to volleyball before we get
Big Fred.
Hey, we'll see him in less than 10 weeks up in Sioux Falls.
We sure will. We sure will. And he's been crushing it. He averaged like 17-11 during their Bahamas trip. Isn't that nuts?
I mean, it's the Bahamas trip. I mean, we can.
It's the Bahamas trip. I know.
We can pump the brakes. Okay, we can take a step back for a second, Walker.
Let's shift to volleyball to get chat here. Welcome, Brian Rosen, to taking over for a legend. You get to play Penn State, Texas, and KU, who took Penn State to 5 in Sioux Falls on Monday night. Welcome. Good luck. Don't go 0-3. I kid there. But this past weekend, their match against Penn State, and Penn State is, we don't have to say, they are really, really good. Very few times the ball hit the floor. So this weekend, watching, outside of anybody that was wearing a Nebraska jersey, there was Olivia Babcock from Pittsburgh, who is incredible. They're going to need to help her, or they're going to need to ice down that arm. But her from Pittsburgh, she's unbelievable to watch in person. Then I think the next best player I saw was Ava Martin. And we know Ava Martin around here. It almost seems to me, John, that the rest of the volleyball world does not talk about her enough, that she might actually be better than her incredible season last year she had for Creighton.
Yeah, I certainly think so. It's largely because of two reasons, guys. One, Nora Stiss was here for the past 4 years, and we know how good Nora was. So Ava was kind of slid into that second seat, if you will, just innately, just naturally. This is kind of like, this is Ava's team now. There's no denying that in my mind. Like, this is Ava's team. She has been here. She, as we saw against Penn State, is the star hitter on this team. So I mean, she's a volleyball star. And then the other reason is because you have a couple more of the best outside hitters in the country an hour down the road. And so it's been difficult for those two reasons for Ava Martin to kind of step into the spotlight. And she took full advantage of that in the Blue Jay season opener. I know it was a loss. I know they got swept. But Ava Martin had 19 kills on, I believe, 42 swings.
Mm-hmm.
And that puts her at like, I think that puts her at like 6.33 kills per set, which again, only a few teams have played volleyball so far, but Ava Martin's leading the country in kills per set.
Wow.
So she's a star, obviously. And I think we're only going to see that more and more over the next couple of weeks while Creighton is still playing some marquee opponents. Again, continuing this weekend with number 5 Texas and number 14 Kansas.
Wow, that's it's great for the sport. Hey, as always, we appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow night. If late night you got a hankering, you say, hey, Sharpie, let's go to the Peanut. I'm there for you tonight.
All righty, guys. If you need any barbecue wrecks, let me know.
They have barbecue in Kansas City?
Never heard of it.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, we have a reservation at a particular place in Overland Park tonight.
Okay. Well, you guys enjoy. Stay. Don't get too messy.
We will not. Hey, thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you, Whiskey.
Thanks, guys.
It's John Walker. You guys are. Oh, you haven't been to Kansas City, Joey. You've been to KC many times, right?
Yeah.
You been to the Peanut?
No, I have.
They're opening up another location.
Not
of the
been
Peanut.
there.
Some of the best wings in America.
I think the last time I've been through Kansas City was going down to Fayetteville.
Arkansas?
Why?
Omaha baseball. They played Arkansas early March. This was like 4 years ago.
Okay. All right.
I thought
that's how often I go down south of I-29.
There are people we were talking about Dan had reached out to a SEC athletic director. A lot of people were like, hey, Arkansas. Yeah. Arkansas is only 6.5 hours away. How come Nebraska and Arkansas don't play more often? How come Arkansas and like Creighton, Arkansas and Omaha, like Arkansas comes up here? I know Omaha went down there and played a series. Creighton just went and played in the NCAA tournament, but Arkansas and Nebraska are closer than people think.
I did not know.
That'd be a fun little football, Fayetteville and Lincoln.
I didn't know that. I actually did not know there's. I thought Arkansas. Well, here's the thing. Arkansas, I've never really thought of Arkansas until the Razorbacks, enter my life every once in a while. And based on their
You don't think about that when you go to a Walmart? You're like,
no, I just found out recently that they were like the main donors for the Razorbacks in that Walmart family. I don't think of Arkansas a lot. I've never really sat down, and been
Northwest Arkansas, where Fayetteville is a beautiful part of the state.
It's beautiful going through the hills in the Ozarks area.
Yeah.
I think of Kyle Monungai and Kobe White and, Theo Benedict a lot. I don't really think of Arkansas.
You don't think of Nolan Richardson?
No.
40 Minutes of Hell?
No, I don't.
Corliss Williamson?
No.
Okay.
I don't
Scotty Thurman?
No, I think of Chris Conti, though, way too much.
What about, he's not from Arkansas, but he played in Arkansas, Scottie Pippen?
I think of Scotty. I think of every once in a while, but he didn't. Yeah, he wasn't a Razorback. Was he? What, Arkansas? Like some JUCO,
Central Arkansas,
something crazy like that.
All right. When we come back, we'll catch up on some tweets and some texts.
Did you
emails?
By the way, what do you think I thought the Peanut was when you first brought it up?
I don't know. It probably doesn't have a name that you would go, oh yeah.
I thought it was a whiskey bar.
I was thinking it was like a nightclub or something.
The Peanut sounds like a great cigar bar.
It's a dive. It's right on the edge of the plaza. It's got the best wings in America.
Really?
Yeah.
Even better than Magic City?
Never been to Magic City.
A lot of people swear by it.
But I will say that I have been to a strip club that had a really good ribeye.
Is it in Lincoln?
No.
Okay, I've heard about a place in Lincoln that had a really good ribeye.
I'd be so afraid. I don't go to those anymore because I got the internet. I would be so afraid of being recognized. Like earlier when I would go, like Bishop and I actually did a show from the night before.
Yeah.
Well, it was actually on election night. We went in there to get people's responses to who they voted for.
You went to one of those establishments to find out?
Bishop and I on KLIN were mobile. And I let's go in here. And he's like, okay.
You think those people are voting?
They were. There was a couple that was at the edge of the stage. They had just voted.
They had
the voted. Yeah, they had the I voted sticker. And so we said, we're from KLIN. Can we ask you? And yeah, they're like, hey, Mike Johans, great guy. I'm like, yes. But I would be afraid now. Like, I don't want to get recognized.
They weren't kidding when they say that KLIN radio covers every part of Lincoln.
You got to pay to play. Voice of the Huskers. It's Gary and Matt with Joey on 1620 The Zone. All right, Brandon Vogel from Counter Read is coming up here in a little bit. He'll explain to us how Scott Satterfield started 51-24 at Appalachian State, but from Louisville to Cincinnati, it has not gone so well. 2 straight losing seasons for Cincy. They got a lot of new faces and new places. They have 3 guys on the Bruce Feldman freak list. guy really. So there's two guys. Nose tackle Dante Corleone is going to be an NFL guy. You're 6'1", 335. You're already a 3-time all-conference guy. You're going to be a problem, but it's great for Nebraska. They're great interior offensive line to go mano on mano. The other guy that I'm very curious to see how Nebraska defends and how he performs, because watching him at Lindenwood, again, I said this yesterday, every Saturday he's the best player on the field, Jeff Caldwell, and he's 6'5", 215. Nebraska doesn't have a lot of cornerbacks that are walking around that are 6'4", 6'5". So it'll be interesting. We'll have plenty to break down tomorrow, and of course, our big roundtable.
Yes,
that will go on and on and on.
I'm interested.
For 3 hours to recap everything that we've said in the previous 8 months.
We probably need like 2 for that, and then the third hour will be a lot of. Third hour might just be a crossover, for being honest. Might start talking about the Platte City QT in the third hour, but it'll be fun. It'll be a great time. We're gonna have we'll talk about Corleone a ton. I'm interested to see about this just from a watching Cincinnati perspective. They have a very interesting running back duo, with Pryor and Walker.
Welcome to the portal era where Nebraska's one of the last games Nebraska played last year, they tackled the running back as he ran the ball 14 times against him. And then they're going to open the season playing against that same running back.
Well, the thing is that like they have
Walker, who was at Wisconsin last year, 14 carries, 55 yards in. What happened to that game, Joey? What happened to the Nebraska-Wisconsin game last year?
Nebraska ran all over Wisconsin.
Okay.
Well,
my computer was down. I wasn't able to look up the result.
They have a
25.
They have a guy named Evan Pryor who is basically the Tony Pollard of the Big 12 last year, who was a backup who had 7.5 yards a carry. And then you kind of add that to a pretty stout running back in Walker. I think it'll be fun.
They're gonna. So that's the question I posed to Jay about Nebraska's defensive line that'll get tested out of the box. Is that they might play in the Big 12, but it almost looks like with their offense, they are built to play in the Big 10.
Yeah,
they like a bruising, physical running style. And you kind of have to be that way if you're going to have a dual threat quarterback that's 6'3", 235. So it's a good test out of the box for Nebraska on the defensive line. But I will say on the other side, if Nebraska is able to run the ball with no tricks tomorrow, your November could be really, really good around here. Because I think if they're able to just line it up and run the ball on Cincinnati, that tells me a lot.
Because we're talking about Corleone, but he also has 2 guys lined up next to him who's played plenty of football with him as well. I mean, it's the entirety of the Cincinnati defensive line that's elite.
Their front 7 last year was good.
Yeah, great.
They got a couple of pieces to fix in there, but the way they play defense, they're built to stop the run.
Yeah.
But if there are no tricks and run the damn ball guy who has an official hat now, Dana Holgerson, everybody's like, hey, air raid guy. And he's like, are you not looking at my hat? Run the damn ball guy. If they can run the ball without tricks, like just quarterback handoff.
Sure.
Ooh.
Well,
that kind of is frightening if you're Akron or Houston Christian.
Oh, 1,000,000%. I mean,
but it would be a good sign for the start of the season.
Another thing too, though, when we talk about the Cincinnati defense, now a lot of the back end, is a lot of the dudes, except for they have the special, Nebraska's got the jack, they have a star, that's their kind of specialty position that's in the secondary. Outside of that, they've had to bring in a bunch of transfers. But I do want to point out this number from Pick 6 Previews: returning production on the defense, 68%, and ranks 14th amongst 68. Power 5 team. So, I mean, it's a defense that, like you mentioned, a lot of their numbers point them to being pretty average to slightly above average, but they bring a decent amount of that production back, and you hope that it can get better. Look, the strongest parts of this Nebraska team are going to be put to the test, and the weakest parts of this Nebraska team is going to be put to the test. And so, Nebraska, I think we could both agree overall, incredibly talented, more talented than this Cincinnati team. But it is going to be a interesting matchup and a very we'll see how much this program has changed.
All right, so it's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
They just Cunanan, welcome to Nebraska. And by the way, in Eckler we trust. New place kicker, new long snapper, new holder. new punter. X got it. Walk-off field goal. Yeah, you don't cover. You probably lost your $20, but Nebraska's 1-0 for the second straight year. Are we ready to establish a win is a win, no matter what it looks like?
Yeah.
No matter what the outcome is?
I agree.
At this point.
All right. You have to I'm kind of in that boat, but I'm saving it for tomorrow. Because I don't want to shoot my shot so early, like Travis. I mean, he shot the shot, but it like went a long way.
Yeah.
So I don't want to shoot the shot and then it be done. I want to like spread it out. I will treat this football program with a vibe that is much different than what their record was last year. They are a 7-6 football program till on the field they can prove me different.
Sure.
Off the field, they don't feel and look like a 7-6 football program, if that makes sense.
I think that it makes complete sense. They don't act like they're 7-6. They act as if they've been there before.
No, that bowl game, that winning, to some it might be like, but that bowl game, I'm finding out more and more, was so important to the head coach and the guys that were returning that they won the game. Because you think about this, guys, coming into this year. So, what was the discussion last year off of 5-7?
Can't win the close game. Still can't get the can't close the big one.
But 2016 was looming.
Sure.
They got that kind of monkey off their back last year. They got to a bowl game.
Yeah.
So they don't have to. So the next thing that is hanging over them is, can you get to 8? Can you get to 9?
Yes.
So we're not talking about a bowl game anymore. I mean, it might be very subtle. I'm understanding, talking to people, that it's bigger than that, that just getting that out of the way and then winning the game has really helped for 8 months to drive guys. Okay, now what do we do next?
Can you,
instead of going, all right, year 3, we're still searching. 2016, I bet those guys had fun in Nashville.
Can you imagine what the discourse would be if they didn't blow out Wisconsin?
Well, you can do it. You can do it on the other side.
Yeah, that is true.
What if they beat Iowa?
Yeah, that's another one too.
If they would have beaten Iowa, the discussion about Illinois would have been the discussion more heavy about Nebraska.
I agree with that. But I think that, and this is just why football is the best, in my opinion, because the margin of error is so small in terms of like what singular results can completely change the vibes of programs. But I'll go ahead and say this, and people might disagree with me, but I truly feel this way. If Nebraska wins, I think I'm going to feel the same way regardless of the manner in which they do it. I think if they go ahead and they win by 1 point and it takes a last-second drive and it's a really close competitive game, but they win, I'm going to feel the same way as if they went ahead and they won a blowout and they won 31-13 or 35-17 or something like that. I think I'll have the same reaction and the same attitude, because if they win a blowout, there's part of me going to be like, okay, like they went and they did what they kind of needed to do, what they expected to do, what they've been talking about doing. Now, week 4, we look ahead to like, that's the team that you're going to go improve if you really are what you are. But if they go ahead and they win by 1 point, I'm going to look at it as, man, I don't care that it was a tougher game. Some of these matchups are pretty tough for Nebraska in terms of what you're working with the defensive line and the running backs and whatnot. And they did something that they haven't done. They won a 1-point game at the last second. I will feel the same way regardless of what the result is.
Now, if they win by double figures and they're able again to just line it up and run the football, I will feel different. But a win is a win. I think winning at the last second in Lincoln with guys that are making the trip, they would take the win, but they would be disappointed. I think Nebraska, from the head coach on down, expects to not look like they haven't played a football game in 8 months tomorrow night. I think they expect to look really, really good from the jump.
So I want to go back to your...
And we would all be...
Sure.
And we would, if it was choppy. If the first 40 minutes of football tomorrow night are really choppy, especially with a returning quarterback and some more familiar faces in certain places, I think we'd all be a little bit going, ooh.
Oh, but even if I think I'm going to find ways to doubt and find ways to critique them, because at the end of the day,
you're a fan, yeah.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's because, let's be real, guys, they're playing a team in the middle to the backpack of a conference that is not equal to what you're playing in. And Cincinnati is going to be one of the back half teams that you play this year, frankly, in terms of your length of competition, which is a good thing in a way because you don't want to be playing your top teams, right?
How many if you put Cincinnati on Nebraska's Big Ten schedule, how many right now?
Yeah.
Because Cincinnati might be a little bit better later in the year when they figure out their personnel and they're not playing as many guys as I think they're going to play tomorrow night on defense. First of all, the guy that'll be the busiest in the press box will be the person handling the participation chart. I think a lot of guys on both sides of the football are going to play on both teams tomorrow night. Let's say Cincinnati's a Big Ten team, and you're starting with a Big Ten opener in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Where on Nebraska's Big Ten schedule do you think they would rank?
They would be better than Maryland and Northwestern, and they would be worse than Minnesota. So probably
better than UCLA?
Yeah, so they're probably around UCLA range is where I would put them. Like if you were to play UCLA.
Better than Michigan State?
Probably, I would say they're worse. I would say but I'm high on. Yeah. Granted, I'm high. Maybe people I'm high on Michigan State.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You paused there, and Joey and I got a little concerned because that would have happened pretty quick.
I'm not high right now.
Some of those take about 15 minutes, and boom.
I wouldn't know. I'm high on Michigan State.
Okay.
I think they are better than Cincinnati. But I would put them slightly above UCLA, slightly below Michigan State, below Minnesota, ahead of Maryland and Northwestern, which I don't think I think that's representative of where they are in the Big 12. I don't think they would be in the cellar of the Big 10. I got a question for you though, real quick. Would you feel differently? Because I agree with you. They go ahead and they pound the ball tomorrow and they show, because I think the pass game is going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, but if Nebraskans have thrown the ball 40 or more times,
we're in trouble.
Oh, you're in trouble.
But would you feel differently?
If they threw 36, I'd be like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Would you feel differently if they ran the ball well with two different running backs?
I actually think they will run with the quarterback as well. 234 yards passing, 18 rushing yards tomorrow night for Dylan Raiola. He will account for 3+ touchdowns.
18 rushing yards on how many attempts?
I think Nebraska will have 5 different guys that run the football tomorrow night.
Okay, I don't doubt that at all.
Yeah.
I would not, because I think they themselves still need to figure it out. I mean, one of the things that I took away from Dana the most was when he said it gets different when you're in front of 70,000 people as opposed to being in training camp, which is why I think when you bring up the participation sheet,
just think how much money they could make if they opened up practice to 70,000 people.
I would go every week,
but for free, because if you open it up and you charge them $20, only 2,000 are going to show up.
Oh, I'll show up every week. I drove down for a 14-minute press conference.
I know. I can't wait for the crossover. Happer's going to have a field day with you. But you do have some ammunition for him.
I do have some ammunition for him.
Rule said that was a good question.
No, he didn't.
He did.
He said it was a great question.
Oh, sorry.
I'm kidding. I mean, it's not that. I mean, I get it all the time, so it's not that big of a deal.
Oh, nice flex there. Yeah, crossover is going to be spicy.
I hope it's not. I can't believe. Did you hear him though? Happer sat down yesterday and he had to apologize from the crossover the day before.
Really?
He yelled at me the crossover the day before. He actually raised his voice.
For what?
He told me that I need to stop talking. Well, because Odson made me a little mad when he was.
Where was I at?
You were.
Was I here?
You brought up the prompt of who's most likely to get murdered.
Oh,
at
yeah,
the
in the
house.
1620 the zone house.
And Odson brought me up, and that bothered me a little bit.
Yeah. You know what? Kind of like some of those landslide elections. Sorry. But you know what?
I'm the new guy. It's fine.
Hey,
I'm the new guy.
Hey, Dukakis went on to have a nice little private life career.
Who's Dukakis?
Joey?
I don't know. I haven't heard.
Blagojevich?
One has been in jail, the other has not.
I know which one's which.
Sorry, I went with a little bit older political candidate, presidential candidate. Sorry. Perot?
No, God, no.
Okay.
I only know the people from the 2016 Republican primary.
McCain?
Oh, I know John.
Okay. Palin?
Sarah?
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Chris Christie?
Right.
Rand Paul?
What about Gore?
Al Gore.
Okay.
He was the one in 04, right? With the, or was it 2000? Which one was the recount in Florida?
I'll just listen to this one.
The recount in Florida with Jeb Bush?
Not Jeb Bush.
That would be his brother.
No, I know, no, but there was a recount in Florida, and wasn't
And
Jeb the
there was
governor? Jeb was the governor of Florida.
Jeb was the governor of Florida.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
right.
Oh, okay.
And
but,
they were, and
but
they
Jeb
were.
had a brother and a father.
Yes, George W. was
Yeah,
running for president, and
yeah.
there was a recount in Florida, and Gore was a part of that, correct? And
Okay.
then Jeb, who was the governor in Florida, was like, no more recount, and it was a big controversy.
They just did it so they could have an HBO special.
I watched that HBO special when I was 8
Yeah.
years old. This is where I'm getting all my information.
Okay.
I watched HBO and the NHL Network growing up.
Okay.
Danny Briere had an incredible 2009 season. Nobody talks about it.
Mitt Romney.
I already brought up. Did I
Yeah.
bring up Mitt? Yeah, Mitt.
yeah, you
Mitt
did.
likes to drink milk.
Okay. All right. All right. We are.
Mitt Romney was the 2012.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, that was that.
Hillary.
Stop it.
No, I'm
Duff?
just seeing how far you can go back.
Hillary Clinton. No, you're going forward. Hillary Clinton was 2016.
Okay.
Now don't ask me who ran in 1996. I have no clue.
Okay. All right.
Was that Clinton? Was that Bill?
One more.
Yeah,
One
go
more.
ahead.
One more. So that
I'm holding my own, by the way, right now in the naming politicians.
great job. I'm glad that internet came up for you.
I don't.
John Kerry.
I've heard of him.
Okay.
Heard of him. Oh,
He ran against Jeb's brother in 04.
George W. Wasn't Tim Kaine? That was Hillary's vice presidential candidate, right?
Yes, I believe.
And then
so.
Paul Ryan. Was it Paul Ryan? He's the Wisconsin senator. He was Mitt Romney's running candidate. Look at me.
I believe so.
Is it Paul Ryan?
I'm not.
You tell me I dig holes, but you give me the shovel.
Ralph Nader.
Nope, never heard of him.
Okay.
Nader, I hardly know her.
What about Bob Dole?
No, don't know Bob Dole.
Walter Mondale.
No, God, no. Who are these people?
Gerald Ford.
Okay, I know Gerald Ford.
Okay, because of his football career.
No,
There's a birth site.
He was born in Omaha.
there's a bird site.
Birth site.
Birth site.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it off of Martha Street?
Yeah.
There you go.
It's in that area.
Okay.
It's in South O.
McGovern.
Who?
What presidential candidate was the home of the Minnesota Twins and the Minnesota Vikings named after before they moved to their current place as the U.S. Bank Stadium, which sits on the same exact spot as that place and Target Field?
I have no clue.
Okay. The Metrodome,
Oh, okay.
the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
okay. I didn't
Um,
know that there were names in front of the Metrodome.
Adlai Stevenson.
No.
No.
You are now
What
in
do you
a-
No.
mean?
You-
How
I've
could
heard
you
of that
not
name.
know that?
Was he a Chicago guy?
You drive on the expressway.
What?
He was the Democratic nominee for president back in 52.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Who? The Stevens?
Adlai Stevenson. Stevenson Expressway. That's who it's named after.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Okay. Well,
Is Dan Ryan is that a politician?
Truman?
Yeah, I know Harry Truman.
Who?
Is it Harry or Henry? Let's just go to a break. This has been-
Dewey?
Stop it.
Huey?
Stop it. Huey Brown?
Huey and Dewey?
Is that a comedy show? Is that like Dorothy and Blanche?
They're ducks. They don't play at Oregon.
Can you do your Donald Duck? Thank you. So, okay, wait. Someone goes, did they not teach you history at suburban school, Matt? I'm a history minor, okay? And even I don't know these people. These niche politician,
All right,
Democratic,
one final one.
Republican. This is ridiculous. I'm a sport guy.
Okay.
This isn't NPR.
Okay,
I'm not supposed to know this.
Okay, one more so that you're going to be good and you're going to finish on a win. John F. Kennedy?
I know Robert F. Kennedy.
Break time. All right, let's welcome in our good friend. Some great stuff this week leading up to tomorrow night in Cincinnati, which will have even more from counterread.com. It is Brandon Vogel. Good Wednesday morning, my friend.
Good morning, guys.
Let's say in a hotel in Kansas City tonight, there's going to be a head coach. I think the hay is in the barn, so he should sleep pretty well. But if there was going to be something that kept him up prior to kickoff of year number 3, it would be what?
I still think it's the defensive front and Nebraska's ability to stop the run. It was a given the last 2 seasons. I mean, they made it a given. They earned that with the defense that they played, and some veteran guys on the D line, some guys that were pretty good in the middle of that defense at linebacker, and all of those players are gone now. They're really kind of turning a page as it comes to that. And when you look at this first game, Cincinnati was a good rushing team a year ago. Lost their 1,000-yard rusher, but has 2 who are still pretty good, including Tawee Walker from Wisconsin, who rushed for 800 yards and 10 touchdowns for a Badger offense that wasn't all that good. So I think that if I were Matt Rule, it's what keeps me up at night when I think about Nebraska football in 2025 is, okay, can they stop the run the way they have in the past, or even anything close to it? Because if you can just get beat up in the interior, things get pretty hard pretty quick, especially in the Big Ten.
Brandon, if you go on counterread.com right now, I just logged on for the first time today. You have an article out there, New Look Nebraska. But I read what Aaron wrote yesterday. It was titled, "Can We Tackle Them?" And it was talking about, and it broke down John Butler's press conference and things that were talked about and important points. But that headline, it kind of sparked me a little bit. I was like, because I read that and I go, man, there really is the mystery of week 1. And that is like the number one, like nobody really knows. Can you talk about that? That just that kind of like veil over every first game of like, it doesn't matter how much talent you have and how like confident you may feel about the defense. They just may not be able to tackle because they don't have enough reps.
Yeah. I mean, I think we see it kind of across college football, and certainly watching the game in Ireland last week, pretty entertaining game, but sloppy. And yeah, it was raining and there were the turnovers. I think it's the big danger with week 1, particularly in games like this, where you're playing another power conference team, of like, it's just going to be a little bit messy. And that shows up in tackling. It can show up in turnovers. Mm-hmm. You hope for Nebraska, given the upgrades they made, it doesn't show up necessarily in special teams, but all of those small sample size things like turnovers and special teams that already have kind of outsized influence on games are even bigger, I think, in week 1. And you could put tackling in that group as well. And when I look at what Nebraska has defensively, and I guess what it doesn't have in terms of a ton of proven experience at some spots, like I think Nebraska's going to have to be an excellent tackling team in 2025, and they're not going to be as good, tomorrow as they probably will be 4 or 5 weeks down the line. But how good are they? It's a group that I think becomes more defined by team defense than either of the last 2 were.
Tackling or angles more important?
I think
they kind of go hand in hand, but I think you know what I'm asking.
Yeah, I think it can vary a little bit based on the offense you're playing. Against a Cincinnati, I think angles is probably the name of the game. Try to funnel them back to your help. You play against a team that's a little bit more classically spread or something of that nature, and just being able to make tackles in space becomes important. But I expect Cincinnati to want to run the football, and if that's the case, it plays into that kind of team notion of defense a little bit.
Would you ever get to the point, even if Nebraska is successful passing the ball, that you'll say maybe this is too much passing?
Not if it's working. It's and it'll be a little bit different, I guess, when you get towards November and you get into the heart of Big Ten play.
Sure.
At a certain point, yeah, you get up to 40 pass attempts, I think you might be pushing the limit a little bit for what's reliable and what's replicable week to week over a 12-game season. But I think Raiola was over 30 in each of the Holgorsen games. Like that's where I expect them to be. I don't necessarily expect a huge uptick in attempts, but I do expect an uptick in kind of overall efficiency, which will be the big thing.
All right. Your gut got you to 8-4. How?
I think this is a team that will take steps without fully leaving its past behind. So I think there will be some real highs for Nebraska. I expect them to be steadier, but I do think there's still the opportunity here for a couple of slip ups, a couple of games. I had them losing to Michigan State, but beating Michigan, that's kind of a week back to back, although there's a bye week in there, but back to back, what I kind of expect for Nebraska. Like that first home game against Michigan, I expect them to be ready to go. I expect it to be a tough game. And I predicted a win in that one. Michigan State, more lightly regarded, but dangerous, I think, in some respects, could be a potential kind of slip up opportunity for Nebraska. So it's where I landed, and I think it's a fair spot based on what we know now. But by tomorrow night, late tomorrow night, it might all feel differently.
So you and I both have 8-4, and it's the same pepperoni pizza, but is there a different way to slice it? And what I mean by that is, are all 8-4s made the same, or is your 8-4 of them beating Michigan and losing to Michigan State, is it different than my 8-4, which has them losing to the 4 teams they'll not be favored against, which is Michigan, maybe Iowa, Penn State, and USC?
Yeah, you could slice it tavern style. I think there can be slight differences, and it's hard to try to account for all of the potential context. But
sure,
I think at its basic level, if it were, well, it's tough. Like, does it feel better to be like, yep, they won the 8 games that they should have, they lost the 4 that they weren't, and that's where they are? Or is it, I guess the 8-4 I had would be a little bit more uncertain of, yeah, you had some highs, but you had some lows. Yours is probably the surer path, Matt, because the way I had it shaking out, I think you get to the end of the year and you're like, well, that was pretty good, but it's hard to shake the feeling of like, oh, what could have been, because they were right there.
All right. 3 months from today, we'll have you on to talk about what you're having for Thanksgiving and Nebraska, Iowa. And we've, by this point in 8 months, I think we've mentioned every single guy that is in Nebraska's football program. Give me a guy that has been mentioned, but you think will be talked about more when we talk 3 months from today on the cusp of the final game of the regular season.
I'm gonna go with Isaiah Hunter. Like a lot of attention towards Dane Key, deserved. He's kind of the guy nationally when people are talking about Nebraska, like, oh, upgraded, they got Dane Key, great receiver from Kentucky. Like I'm pretty high on Hunter, and I think he's going to be a very good complement to Key. I think he could lead Nebraska in receiving, particularly as a big play threat. So he's one who's kind of floated under the surface a little bit in my opinion, but I expect him to be a pretty key addition by the time we get that deep in the season.
What is if I gave you an over-under, you know what? I'm not going to give you an over-under. I'll let you set it. I'm going to let Brandon Vogel set the line. Heinrich Haarberg receiving yards this season.
200, I would guess, off the top of my head. A couple of weeks ago, I looked at it over-under for total touchdowns, because he's intriguing, because, you could hand him the ball, you could snap him the ball, certainly can throw him the football now. And I set it at 3.5. And it's just looking at historically tight end production in Nebraska, there's not a ton there. And they've had NFL guys in the recent past. And, at top end, they kind of end up around, I think, 400. So for Harburg, who's second on the depth chart, still, we haven't seen him play the position competitively yet. I think I would be, if he was over 200, I'd be like, that's a solid first street season. And Nebraska probably was right about that position change.
All right, now that we're into game week and post game, what can people expect that are subscribers to counterread.com?
Yeah, so because of the odd game schedule this week, I put out the game preview today. So that's up there for people to read. That's a subscriber only, but if you get signed up, even at the free level, you get 7 days. So that'll take you through one full week, see what we're about. Aaron will have our regular game day guide on Thursday, and then bonus newsletter. So 5 newsletters this week. We'll have a Friday recap as well. So, and subscribers also get access to our game day chat. So I'm excited for that to return Thursday night.
Does the game end? We'll get chat on this. Does the game end tomorrow night with 15 taking a knee?
Yes.
Okay.
I got Nebraska with a 1-score win, 31-24. And I think that's going to be Cunanan getting a field goal in the fourth quarter to push that to 7. So it'll be a little bit nervy, but I think Nebraska gets there.
Hasn't missed a field goal or an extra point since 23. Now, granted, he only kicked 5 of each last year, but you get what I'm saying.
Lost his job to Cincinnati's kicker.
I know, which is a good storyline, along with Barry Jackson Jr. being a former Nebraska commit that's now playing at Cincinnati. Yes. Hey, Great stuff, my friend. Looking forward to your reaction to what you see tomorrow night, and we'll talk next Wednesday.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks.
That's Brandon Vogel from counterread.com. That is the portal world.
Why am I now finding out about Cunanan lost his job today?
Because you just started subscribing to counterread.com.
I did. I signed up yesterday. Hell of a sign up.
All right. Crossover is coming up next. We'll see y'all in Kansas City. Going to Kansas City.
Have fun.
Thank you, Joey. We will be talking to you on Thursday night from the parking lot in an
Late
RV.
night.
On
in the studio.
Thursday.
I'll be in the house.
We'll be in the house tomorrow morning. Thanks to Joey. Thanks to Matt and all of you. We've made it. Tomorrow is game day. Nebraska, Cincinnati. We'll talk to you from Kansas City. Crossover is coming up next on 1620 The Zone.